Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Around the Pound San Diego Comic-Con special! And because it's Comic-Con, it's being hosted by me, Marcus Shadow, the movie guy! Yeah, well. Yes, I am going to be the one hosting this, and I am, in fact, the movie guy. So, let's go ahead and kick things off. We all have lists, so we will be reading them. We may not... Yes.
To be fair though, I kept doing the air quotes when you said comic. To be fair, Comic-Con's about movies as much as it is comics now, and TV shows and games.
True, very true. But yeah, we all have lists. We'll be reading off documents, so it may look a little weird with us on the cam. But joining me for this special is the rest of the regulars. We have Chris, aka the Mole. We have also from the gaming side my personal friend, the sad gamer Richter Hammer.
Hello.
And of course, the pedophile himself, James Phoenix. And he just shakes his head. Sorry, I had to use the joke.
He's been
But
named.
yes, all right. Yes, let's go ahead and kick things off. I will go ahead and kick it off. And let's see. I'll start with the first one on my list. Okay.
I don't get it.
That one wasn't me.
But yes, the first one on my list is about Tekken 7. Katsuhiro Harada and I guess it was just him. Okay, Kazuhiro Harada, the game director and chief producer of Tekken at Namco, spoke about Tekken 7. They showed off a new trailer for it, which supposedly looks completely awesome and atmospheric. Of course, it's exclusive to Comic-Con, so none of us saw it. But he said the Mishima family story will conclude in Tekken 7. It will include the final fight between Kazuya Mishima and his father Heihachi Mishima. So one or both of them will probably die in this game. Plot points from previous Tekken games will be explained, so they're wrapping everything up with this one. And Tekken 7 will also be featuring the design work of 7 guest artists, including Mari Shimazaki from Bayonetta and Yusuke Kozaki from Fire Emblem Awakening. So this game is going to look amazing.
Can I just make the point that this is a video game series, and therefore, oh yeah, we're going to end this? That doesn't necessarily mean they're actually going to end it.
No, we're ending the storylines between some of the people, not the series. There's still other storylines to get to. It's like
Indeed.
a fighting game with like 30 odd people.
Fair enough.
That actually age in one of the few fighting games that actually has like progression of the characters.
They do, and I will also say,
Oh, go ahead.
because we're talking about storylines actually being explained, well thought out, and looking good, that has no place here.
And I was going to say, yes, Richter, I would agree with you if it wasn't for the fact that in the last Tekken game, they de-aged Heihachi by 20 years.
Yeah, but I mean, like at the start of it, Jin wasn't born, so you know.
True. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue on, and I will allow Richter Hammer to continue to speak. So take it away, Richter.
Oh, that's nice. It'll allow you to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
All right. So first up, they had some actual comic book news for the IDW Transformers comics. Just going down the list here. No, I haven't really read any of these. Just thought it was cool and pertains to some of my interests. So, and it's actually comic book related, which they don't have that at Comic-Con anymore. But they talked about, they had a panel where they talked about some of the different series that they have, and they talked about the creative team and, you know, some of the information of what the story is going to be about, because some of these haven't actually happened yet. So they talked about like the More Than Meets the Eye story, Robots in Disguise, Combiner Wars, which I'll definitely talk about later, Transformers Windblade, which just wrapped up, but they talked about how the character is going to be in other series. Transformers Primacy, which sounds weird, Transformers Punishment, which sounds animated, Transformers Drift, Empire of Stone. Drift is cool in the comics, and then the Aberration Angry Birds Transformers, and then should be totally awesome for 80s kids, Transformers versus G.I. Joe. But had some cool info about that, so if you want to check that out, definitely I would recommend it. And they even actually explained why they're doing Transformers Angry Birds.
Yeah. Well, I'll say I've read some of the IDW Transformer comics. I actually like them. I like the fact they've gone back to G1 continuity, even though that's not my favorite continuity. But they're mixing in stuff from like the UK comics, the American comics, and stuff, which is pretty good. Like I think it's More Than Meets the IT for that one, or another one, which is actually a continuation of one of their other ongoings, which is now ended, and they've got like this whole branching continuity going with Transformers. That all actually lines up and matches, which that's fucking genius. I love that.
Yeah, whenever I hear about the comic stuff, it sounds really cool. I just haven't gotten around to actually reading them. But a lot of them, I've heard that they're really good, and they actually, a lot of the characters actually are characters and not just like, oh, that's the yellow one, like that's Bumblebee. Gets in trouble every week. That's the limit of his character.
No, wait, they're doing Transformers Angry Birds. Didn't
Yes.
Transformers already do that before Angry Birds ever existed? And wasn't it called Laserbeak?
They should have a Laserbeak one.
He wasn't an
That's
ang-
technically what he is.
He wasn't
I don't
an
think he's angry.
Yeah, he wasn't an angry bird. He was a happy bird that was just doing his job.
Okay.
Okay then.
I don't know about that because freaking Baber's Laserbeak looked pretty pissed off to me.
That's true.
Yeah,
well,
I'm just glad one of those designs showed emotion.
Yeah.
Well, it's Bayverse. All the Transformers are pissed off at being in those crap-ass movies.
Why do I look like this? Angry.
Why am I bigger than Optimus Prime? This makes no sense. Grimlock head hurts.
Well, Grimlock was always a little taller at the very least.
Yeah, but he wasn't like three
wasn't
times
big
the
enough
size
to
of
get rid
Optimus.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because isn't he in the film, based on the parts I've seen and stuff like that, with how high he is? Isn't he like real Tyrannosaurus size?
I believe so. Yeah.
Which makes logical sense. Like Optimus isn't going to scan a truck and not be truck size. That'd be kind of
That would be amazing.
Well, Bumblebee scans a Volkswagen Beetle or a Bug, or I know it's a Camaro now, but he scans a Volkswagen Beetle and then grows to the size of it like a fucking monster truck. It would be like, what's going on here? So at least that part makes sense, the size, just because that's what he kind of scanned.
Scan the bones. Maybe that's why he's a skeleton, because he only can scan the bones.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, didn't he scan the actual dinosaurs? Because weren't they supposed, according to the history of the world by Michael Bay, weren't they around during the actual dinosaur age, and they're actually like ancient transformers, and that's why they were able to scan stuff like dinosaurs, because they were actually around at the time of the dinosaurs before they got basically put on stasis or frozen.
Oh, is that what they did? I never saw the movie, so.
It's
At least
not actually covered in the movie, but they definitely don't scan anything in it. So yes, they more than likely. Well, it's hinted at that. Well, not hinted, but they pretty much have there that it's Transformers were on the planet at that point, so it's feasible that they actually scan the dinosaur. But I know that they're not scanning bones because they don't scan anything in the movie. They already have those forms.
Fair enough. All right, let's move over to the drinking Firebird James Phoenix for the next bit of news.
Firebird.
Well, he was drinking water at the time, and Phoenix is a Firebird.
So wouldn't
He's
that
trying
just
to
make him
extinguish his
steam?
throat. Yeah.
Yeah, that's make him steam. It'd make him steam without a shitty control pad.
The Red Ranger morphed into Venom Bear.
He's been
It did.
replaced. He's been replaced for this episode. Comic-Con Venom.
Surprise. Sorry.
Go ahead, Jim.
He's been replaced. Anyway.
The Red Ranger's now at a peace conference. Madwell.
Oh Lord.
So the first thing I want to talk about is we got some a trailer and some information on Lego Batman 3, which is cool. We learned that there will not be online multiplayer, which kind of sucks. But on the plus side, we did learn that it's basically going to be. I lost the article here. Darn it! What my other leg? It was a Batman leading the Justice League against the Legion of Doom, right?
I'm Brainiac.
And Brainiac. We also learned that there will be Adam West in the game. Yeah.
And actually, it's more Justice League teaming up with the Legion of Doom against Brainiac. That's the whole plot of the story.
They also
wait,
said that there's going to be
so wait,
parts where they faced Legion of Doom too, because one
True,
of
yeah,
the
at the
videos showed them fighting them too.
So wait a minute. It's Lego DC Universe Online?
Pretty much, yes.
No,
You
this
know,
is
It's actual
playable.
I'd actually try that game, I would admit.
I would so play a Lego DC game online if it played like Lego Batman, not like DCUL.
Yeah. If it played like anything.
DC games, make it happen.
But yes, Adam West will be appearing in the game, so that's a cool thing. And generally speaking, it looks like the game's going to be pretty cool, aside from the lack of the online multiplayer.
Yeah, I can go either way on that.
The trailer looks badass. Batman's got some new suits, going on. New characters, new powers. It looks like it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, which like we discussed with that, I said I can go either way with the online bit, as they said it's meant to be with the Lego games. It's meant to be like playing with Lego in a video game. So they want you to be in the same room like you would be with your friend if you were playing with little figures and stuff, which I understand as a video game. Some people don't like that, but I'm like, it makes sense. It's like, if it's like AVP, the stealth game where they wanted to keep the stealth elements, I'm okay with no local multiplayer. It doesn't work for that. For this, online would work, but at the same time, I understand why they're doing what they're doing. They want it to feel like you're playing with a toy.
This is true. All right, well, if that's all Jim's got for now, then let's go on over to the mold.
Also, by the way, I should probably also mention that we do see the New 52 type version of continuity here, where Superman is on a date with Wonder Woman. So that's pretty cool.
That's
Nice.
weird. He said over to the mall and a paedophile spoke. I was never on Dateline.
Oh,
Had to be done. But no. We had it's all a bit of multiple news in one, but I'm going to talk about the Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice film. Which, first of all, they showed off the Wonder Woman costume. Personally, I like that. I don't know what everyone else thought about that, but I loved the Wonder Woman costume.
It looks
What about
awesome.
you, Rick? Yeah, you look like that.
Yeah, it looks really good because it's well, besides the fact that I really like armors, like that looks nice. Plus, it's not it doesn't look very comic booky, if that makes sense. Like it's not like super revealing. Like I'm gonna fight in my bikini. Like it looks practical that like an Amazon would wear, and it looks cool. So
That's what I love about it. That's why, like, for example, I loved Wonder Woman in pants because she shouldn't be in a bikini.
yeah,
And I'm like, and she's worn armors in the comics similar to that before, hence why I based my Dynasty Warriors character on it. But it's like, I like the armor look. It makes her look more serious, and you can also play up more elements, like Batman's the dark gadgets guy, Superman is the hero of light and peace and honor, and Wonder Woman's just a warrior who wants to come in and just, well, kill shit, basically, for our pride and honor and stuff, which that works. What did Jim and Jeff think? Or Jim and Marcus?
I see a thumbs up. Or it's a lighter.
Did Jim like that?
I thought it was pretty cool. I liked the armor look, and I liked how it was armored and it looked into my costume, but it actually looked like it may protect her.
Yep. And the next bit of news from that, which this is just amazing, they showed off a clip at Comic-Con, which we didn't get to see, but they posted the description of it. And this is what it says, Rick. Because I know the other. I say Rick because I've read it to the other two. It says, it starts with thunder and rain. And then it says, as a hand pulls a tarp off it's Ben Affleck's Batman, on Gotham City rooftop, and he's in full bat armor from Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. His eyes are glowing white, and we see that he's pulled the tarp off, and it's the bat signal. He turns the symbol on, and the famed bat signal fills the sky. But then we see it's aimed at something. A man floating in the sky. No, not a man, a Superman. Cut to a close-up of Henry Cavill's Man of Steel as his eyes start to glow red with heat vision. Cut back to Batman, whose eyes are still glowing white. It's the stare down of all stare downs. Cut to the title screen. Batman vs Superman. Dawn of Justice. Love it. How about you guys?
It does sound cool. I'd like to actually see it, but again, exclusive to Comic-Con.
It is exclusive, but it was still major news. And
Yeah.
I was like, with the description, it sounds like, especially with Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns, it sounds like they're actually sticking to source material, or at least trying to be true to source material. And I'm like, that's kind of cool. And that scene sounds almost similar to one actually in The Dark Knight Returns, in which you got Superman v Batman. Not with the bat signal, but it sounds similar. And I'm like, that's cool. I like that.
Nice.
Nice. I reserve my judgment for when the movie comes out.
I'm just sad nobody pointed at the WrestleMania sign.
That should have happened.
That seems like that's the perfect time.
There you go.
They should
should
point
have
at the
ended.
Watchtower. You and me, Clark, for the League.
Yep.
Is the league even formed at that point, or?
No, there's going to be
No.
cameos from the other league members in this movie that will supposedly hint at the formation of the league, which we'll see in the next.
So they pointed empty space.
Mhm.
Well, just
They
because the
call-
League isn't formed doesn't mean the Watchtower doesn't exist,
Yeah.
because, Bruce created it, so it's probably up there somewhere in some form.
No,
No,
they
because
just pointed to the
doesn't-
Animaniacs Water Tower because it's a Warner Brothers film.
True.
Yes.
But yeah, can't the Watchtower not exist yet? Because doesn't Bruce first have to meet Jon Stewart to get him to design it?
Plus, the Watchtower does not exist yet because in Man of Steel, there's constant shots of space and you never see it.
That's true too.
Fair enough.
But like I said, so far you got stuff like that. You got a costume that's actually based on one from the comics. Great. Wonder Woman's armor. Great. And stuff like that. I'm hyped up for this film. It sounds like it's going to be a great film if you like the comics. I'm like, cool. They're actually
I
trying
hope
to
so.
get comic fans.
Yeah, I hope so. All right, so let's see what I've got next on the old wheel.
Wheel of morality. Turn.
Yeah, I'll go with the next one on the list. I guess it's big news if you're a fan of this. Mike Gamble, the producer of Mass Effect from BioWare, announced that the Mako, the little shitty-ass vehicle from the first one, will return for Mass Effect 5. Some fans will cheer, some will groan, as many fans did not like the Mako for obvious reasons. And Gamble said, quote, "We're playing around with a bunch of different physics for the Mako. The thing that we have to do is make it as responsive as possible. We've learned a thing or two over the years," end quote. So apparently they're giving the Mako a complete overhaul, which hopefully means it will actually work.
I will say I disagree with how you described it.
Oh?
It's shitty, but it's not little. It's got like 8 or 9 or 10 fucking tires. It's like a fucking tank, a big tank size.
Fair enough.
It's a big shitty vehicle.
Fair enough. I stand corrected.
What was
I
that,
like the
Rick?
Mako for what it was, but I can
That's it.
kind of agree with the controls and physics being kind of
Yeah.
wonky.
And I said, what was that, Rick? Did you just say this is proof you can polish a turd?
No. No, my initial comment for that was that they finally found a way to piss off like everybody. Like so many people were mad about the ending and other stuff that they're like, what else can we do to make everyone angry? And it was bring back the Mako, which admittedly controlled like crap, but was totally awesome because it was so silly.
Yeah.
I will also point out to people watching this in case it seems like that, because I just realised what it looked like when I looked down. When some people like when Richter was speaking, then I'm not rolling my eyes. I'm looking at my webcam. It's just higher up. It's at an angle because I realised after you spoke, I was like, and it's like, no, I'm not rolling my eyes. I was listening to what you said, something about Vita.
Yeah.
Well, we lost Jim. Anyway, Richter, go ahead. It's all you, buddy.
All right.
Bring it home with the moneymaker, and I'm talking about your face.
He doesn't have a webcam.
That is a webcam. He's just really pressed against it.
Yeah.
He's just very pixelated.
Yeah, I exist in 8 bits.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's it. That's his secret. He's always pixels.
Exactly.
Always 8-bit. I'm so retro. Also, there's other Transformer news. Don't worry, you're gonna get more of it. So if you hate it, I apologize, but I like Transformers, so I'm gonna cover crap. But, they also talked about one returning show and one new TV show that they're doing. They're doing I think it's season 3 of Rescue Bots, which is like the more kid-friendly one. You know, the animation is a lot simpler and it has like all of them are rescue vehicles. There's like a fire truck and a bulldozer and a helicopter. And I've only seen like the first season, but they only have Optimus Prime like in the first episode, so like it really deals with like other people, other Transformers.
I was so disappointed with that series.
Yeah,
I loved
not very
Prime.
good,
I loved Prime, and they described it when they had launched it as this is going to be Transformers for all ages, for including younger viewers and stuff. And the way they showed off the first little Optimus model, I was thinking it was going to be like Marvel Superhero Squad with Transformers, which would have been fucking epic. And when I'm watching, I'm like, okay, I don't know who you are, but okay, I'm going to watch this robot. I have confidence Optimus Prime will show up. And Optimus Prime's like, I'm here this week. And then next week, I'm just going to do a Dwayne Johnson, and I'm going to bring it via satellite. But don't worry, Optimus Prime is never, ever going away.
Well, I like that for the toys of them, they like make Optimus Prime toys, even though he's like not in very many episodes.
Well, of course, they got to make that money.
But I think he's going to be in season 3 because now they all turn into dinosaurs. Because why not? So Optimus Prime effectively now becomes Grimlock because he becomes a T-Rex. So I think Marcus's head just imploded.
He's been a gorilla.
Yeah.
You can get 5 minutes of Optimus Prime as bonus content on the extended special edition Blu-ray.
There you go. But anyway, it's that's news about that. But then the next one is in continuity of Prime. It's called Robots in Disguise, which even though they've used that name before, it doesn't matter. But
yeah, let's completely erase the old Robots in Disguise anime show from existence, please.
Those are good toys. But,
they were good toys, but no Dragon Megatron.
It's not set immediately after it. It's like a couple years later, and it's basically Bumblebee leading it. Yeah, don't like that. But anyway, animation is similar. It's kind of like a 2D, 3D hybrid, and it has new characters. Like I said, Bumblebee's leading it, but like most of the other characters are new, including one named Fix-It, and also there's a Dinobot who's a Decepticon named Underbite. And one of the new Autobots is Strong Arm, who's female, or Fembot for all you people. And she's an Autobot police vehicle, so should be interesting. But I guess RC, I guess, is not in it. Supposedly the people from Prime are going to appear like in Season 2. Like they'll show some of them, but they don't want to. They want to do it like Joey. No one remembers that show. I apologize. But like Season 1, it's like, all the new people. Then Season 2, if we get a Season 2, we'll bring back people that you know and actually care about. No, but
I hated Season 2 of Joey.
I forgot that one.
Yeah, the ironic thing, Mel Blanc had more success playing himself than he did Joey.
That's true. So it's I'm cautiously optimistic about the show. I did like Prime. Did not really like the animated one at the end. The what was it called? Not Beast Hunters. The Predacons Rising. Yeah, like movie quote unquote. Sorry, I did air quotes. The like the animated, almost like a movie feature length, whatever they call it, at the end. I didn't like it as much as Prime, but Prime was really effing good. So I am definitely. I will at least give the show a chance. But
See, I never saw the end because over here they showed season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Then they only showed parts of season 2, like the first episode, and I'm like, nah, fuck it, let's show 1 again over and over again. It's like, what? So literally, we've just got season 2 on DVD here now, and it's not all of season 2; it's just volume 1. That's why I wasn't sure because all the brand for that series was all Beast Hunters, and they kept advertising on TV.
Well,
It's like, oh.
Beast Hunters was season 3, and then like when that finished, they did like a original animated, like separate.
Nice.
It wasn't I mean, it's in continuity, but it's not like part. I don't know how to explain it in like American terms. Like in an anime, it'd be like an OAV, if anyone knows that. But it wasn't as good. But Prime season 1, 2, and 3, definitely good. Definitely recommend it. It was all about that. So
fair enough. Over to Jim.
Fair enough. We knew this was coming. They talked about this a while ago. But we got supposedly they had footage of and some more information in regards to the Simpsons Family Guy crossover episode that's coming up. It's called The Simpsons Guy. I believe, officially speaking, it's an episode of Family Guy, officially speaking. And we found out that, according to the description of the trailer, because, again, these are exclusive, so we can't actually watch the fucking trailers. But according to the description of the trailer, the Griffins are going to go to from Quahog to Springfield, where they will meet the Simpsons, and where Homer will refer to them as his albino friends. Which I think is funny.
Nice.
And there will be an assortment of hilarious interactions, including Bart trying to teach Stewie how to prank call Moe's. There will be the revelation that Paw Tuck the Patriot is actually Duff in disguise. Spoilers. And also, there will be an all-out drag-down brawl between Peter and Homer. Because there must be. And it sounds like it's going to be a pretty fun episode. It's going to be a 1-hour special. And we will see all kinds of parallels and interactions and all kinds of good things like that there. So it should be pretty darn entertaining to see. I'm looking forward to it. I'm a fan of both those shows. I know not everybody likes The Family Guy, and a lot of people feel like the later seasons of The Simpsons haven't been that good, but personally I'm a fan of both shows, and I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Actually, since the movie, the recent episodes of The Simpsons have actually been mostly critically like upheld. It's just idiots on the internet that don't actually watch them that say they're bad.
Ah, fair enough. My apologies.
Because it's the cool thing to say.
Gotcha. Fair enough. In addition to that, continuing with the Simpsons theme of news here, we also have information on a second crossover, because we'll be getting a full crossover of The Simpsons and Futurama. That is forthcoming.
Wait, how can they cross... never mind. I was going to say, how can they cross over with Futurama? It's ended.
Well, they're bringing the cast back for it, in all fairness. Matt Groening's still shopping it around. He's hoping to get picked up on another network.
I thought it was meant to be a complete ending, because the last ending where everything got reset and stuff was so perfect.
That was good.
Brian Leela, that was just the perfect ending. Don't scrubs it.
Yeah, too late.
I don't know.
I will say with the Family Guy Simpsons crossover, it sounds good if you like both shows. My only thing with that is, isn't it too late?
A little bit, yeah. That should have happened like 10 years ago.
Yeah, because right now, both shows aren't really like they were in their prime and stuff like that. So it's like, I mean, they might still both be producing good episodes, but you know, it'd be like, as much as I'm gonna look forward to watching that if it happens, it's like we talked about, like Sting v Undertaker at WrestleMania. It'll be good for all the fans who like both, but it's not gonna be the match quality it would have been if Sting had signed around Invasion.
Yeah. Actually, I was actually slightly inaccurate here. It'll feature the whole cast of Futurama. The episode will air in November. There's a Futurama crossover. And Groening said there are no current plans to bring back Futurama, but that he's meeting with the Futurama people tomorrow morning over waffles to discuss the show's future.
Where
So-
all great decisions are made over waffles.
Wait, there's no plans to bring it back, so yes, let's discuss its future. But if it has a future, you have to bring it back in some capacity.
Well, maybe they don't bring the maybe they're not gonna bring the show back. Maybe they're gonna do a movie. Who knows?
They did one, didn't they?
They did several direct-to-DVD movies. They didn't do a feature film.
Yeah, but they were still movies.
Yeah, but they really just felt like long episodes of the TV show. They didn't feel like a movie really.
Oh, I love that first one where you had like every cast member or every character who'd been in the series like doing like the Death Star type run. Not because it was the Death Star reference, but just because I like that in a movie of a TV show where you suddenly see every character you've loved in the show at once in like a big war. That felt so much on the scale of a movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah, to get
I agree, the other ones didn't. The other ones did feel like long episodes of the show, but the first one, or which still the second one, whichever one it was, had that with like the
Yeah.
space orbs. That was great.
I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, where the scammer aliens managed to take over the Earth with internet scams. And
Bender's Big Skull.
yeah, that's the one. And then they all had to get in a. They all had to, they teamed up. They moved to Neptune, and they used Santa's elves to build them an arsenal. And then they all went on a war against the solid gold Death Stars that the scammers built.
Yep,
Oh,
which was
awesome.
great.
I like that. So, in additional news to mention, also he was asked, will the Simpsons end? And Groening just said, no. We're going to be around for a while. The other thing to mention is that they also have some information on the upcoming Treehouse of Horror episode for October. It's going to be a little early this year, October 19th, and it's going to feature Clockwork Yellow. Parody of Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange, and the Malcolm McDowell Alex role will be filled by Moe.
I will say, that's the first one in the years when they've announced the Treehouse of Horrors, because I do like the Treehouse of Horrors, but they fell into a certain trend for like the longest time. If that's the first one when they've announced, I've been like, yes, you're actually parodying something that's classic and could work for Halloween.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Instead of let's parody Batman because Batman's a film right now.
Because Batman.
Also, if you're a fan of Simpsons music, there's going to be a series of events at the Hollywood Bowl in September where the voice cast and Weird Al Yankovic will perform famous music from the show.
Nice.
See, I love the Simpsons music, and I will say I do own a lot of the albums, including the Blues album. I love that album. Deep, deep trouble.
Born under a bad sign.
Good stuff.
Up in the morning and out for school. Is it wrong? That's how I first learned that fucking song. I was a kid when the album came out. I bought it on CD. I loved that album. That was the first time I'd heard that song. I listened to it. It's like, up in the morning and out for school. And I'm like, holy fuck, that's a great song. And I'm like, and then years later I heard the original. I'm like, it's not bad.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, some people feel that way about a lot of songs. I know there's a lot of people that were raised that they don't necessarily know a lot of popular songs, but they can sing the Weird Al parodies word for word. So depends on what your first year.
Yep.
But also, the other final bits of news. Number one, because I know everybody was really wondering, wanted to know, coming up in season 26, we'll see the return of Spider Pig. And apparently, and I quote from Groening here, there will be a couch gag coming up that is, quote, so nightmarish it will change your DNA. End quote. So that should be interesting to see. So that's all the Simpsons news. And one of the things they did allow people to film, apparently, is there is a video out there on the YouTube, so you want to go see it, of Matt Groening having his annual conversation with holographic Homer. So, enjoy.
Yep, just to make a reference, which is kind of annoying. It's out there. On the line.
Exactly. It's on the interwebs.
All right, well, thanks for joining us, Jim. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Wow.
On
No,
to
I
Mo.
think he meant that was the final bit of his Matt Simpson news.
Yeah, that's a final bit of the Simpsons news.
I know. It was a joke.
Your joke failed. You failed for the day, sir.
I was
A
just
slew.
about to say that.
A slew of DC TV shows came to San Diego Comic-Con this year. Constantine was among them. And while the series' leading man, Matt Ryan, may not be as flights and tights as his counterparts on Arrow and Flash, he's definitely not without his own existing and twisted story to tell. As DC comic fans well know, the series follows John Constantine, a master of the dark arts and morally challenged character who doesn't come down on the side of either good or evil, but ultimately he might be the only thing defending us against the dark forces from beyond. At Comic-Con, the writer said, which is a spoiler, on the contrary, they actually do plan to release plenty of DC characters as the show goes on, maybe not Flash and Arrow and stuff, but they've said, including Papa Midnight, the Newcastle Crew. By the end of Season 1, it's just those. We have access to all of the occult corner of the DC universe, Goya added, and it sounded like they plan to take full advantage of that. When asked if Zatanna or any other members of Justice League Dark might pop up, Goya said, I'm sure many of you saw the Dr. Fate helmet in the pilot, because they did show the pilot at Comic-Con, and that was a clear indication of our intentions. That was the end of my news.
Nice. Dr. Fate. Yay.
It's almost like no one seemed ready for comic news.
It's about time Dr. Fate got live action treatment.
Dr. Fate, woo!
Technically, didn't he have live action treatment?
Did he?
In what?
I swear he was in Smallville.
Oh, yeah, he
I didn't
was.
see
That's
that.
right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and they actually did a damn good, as much as I hate Smallville, they did a damn good costume for him.
Cool. Alright, so let's see.
It's over to Marcus.
Yes, over to me.
Indeed.
It's Marcus's Playhouse.
Well, since we're on comic themes here, Dark Horse Comics and Mattel are teaming up to create The Art of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. This book will collect and showcase over 30 years of behind-the-scenes material, lore, and classic imagery. The book will release in comic stores on April 1st, 2015. No, this isn't a joke. And in standard retail bookstores on April 14th, 2015.
Which
So
does sound a little
Should
weird.
be awesome. Oh?
Not in a bad way, that sounds like a great book. It just sounds weird it was Dark Horse, because it wasn't that long ago that DC had the license. Well, that's why we had like Justice League versus the Masters of the Universe and stuff like that. So you know what I mean? I thought it would have been released under DC.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of cool.
Oh, over to Richter.
All right. So my next one, strangely not Transformers related, but that Adult Swim showed had a panel and showed a little bit of footage for a teaser from their new series, Mike Tyson Mysteries, where it stars Mike Tyson solving mysteries like Scooby-Doo, and it has Mike Tyson, obviously, his adopted daughter Young Hee. There's an 18th century ghost named Queensberry, and a pigeon named Pigeon, who's voiced by Norm Macdonald, and he's apparently like drunk or whatever because they show him like drinking in it, and he's the wisecracking one. And if you have not, if you have not seen the trailer, definitely look it up because that show looks awesome. Like it's just so silly that I love that premise that Mike Tyson will solve mysteries, and even so at one point in it that he's like just gonna punch stuff, and it looks that premise is so just great because no, like you could never see that happening in real life, but with the magic of cartoons, it looks awesome. So definitely check that out.
It does look great.
You know, I feel I need to ask, is Mike Tyson actually voicing himself in this show?
I think so.
Sounds like, but you know, like it's so many people can do a Mike Tyson imitation. I don't know if it's actually him. I imagine so, because he was actually on the panel and being himself. So
Fair enough.
he was just saying.
I would therefore assume he's voicing himself in the show. That's awesome.
Well, at least he gets him a paycheck. Moving on to Jim.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Hopefully
Moving
he'll
on,
have a
shots on the job.
Hmm?
Oh, I just said you didn't have any thoughts on the Mike Tyson show.
I think it could be cool. I'd be interested. I'm probably going to go check out that trailer after this.
As am I. But anyway, the next thing I have to mention is we got some more information about the Power Rangers Super Mega Force video game on Nintendo 3DS. We saw some cool footage from the game, which looked pretty cool.
Surprise. Sorry.
He's back. Anyway,
He's gone.
good. Anyway, so the gameplay from the game in the trailer looks pretty good, and they announced in this that you can take your Red Ranger keys you have from the collectible keys and scan them to unlock Red Rangers in the game. They announced over 30 playable characters in total, and in addition, they've announced that the entire Mighty Morphin Power Rangers team will be playable characters in the game. So you got to assume that's 6 of them, 6 of the original Mega Forces, and that's
7.
7. Oh yeah, 7.
7.
No, Robo Knight. Okay.
And I was also including White Tommy as well as Green Tommy because they did show the picture
Okay.
of White Tommy.
Fair enough. 14 Rangers then. So if that's 4, they're including Robo Knight. That's 14. Already that will need another 16 characters. That could be another 16 Red Rangers that are in there. So 16 out of 20 is not, plus the 2 they already have. That's 18 out of 20 is not bad.
Yep. I'll be honest, I'm tempted to buy it just to play as the originals.
And technically speaking, if Samurai and Megaforce are each doubled up, then that's actually all the Red Rangers. So there you go.
No, but like I said, if I can, I want to get that game just so I can play as like Green Tommy in a beat up game again. That'd be so amazing.
Nice. The other cool thing here, there's some nice pictures here of the Mighty Morphin Rangers fighting, but there's also supersized Zord fights you compete in, which is awesome.
Did they show how to get Zord fights work? Please tell me they showed how they work and they're not Dance Dance Revolution.
They didn't. They like I said, they didn't. Well, considering it's in freaking 3DS, I doubt it's Dance Dance Revolution. But they showed some. Yeah.
The reason I said Dance Dance Revolution is because the way Super Legends worked with Zords, even on the handheld device. Well, the handheld device used that shitty Max system, which was broken in other regards. But the way it worked even on a PlayStation was you had to press the buttons at the right time to make the Zord go.
Fair enough.
Oh, you've now done it twice.
Well, I'm just looking at the footage here, and I just see the Megazord with its 2 swords just kind of swiping at the bad guy. And
Richter rolls in his grave.
Yeah, and then there's him doing the finishing move. I don't see any Dance Dance Revolution indicators here. All it shows is the screen of the guys moving, though. It doesn't show what's being pressed to do that.
It'd probably be on the bottom screen, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And they tend not to show those.
Hearing that there was a chance it might not be Dance Dance Revolution, Richter was resurrected.
Dude, Super
Praise
Samurai.
unto him.
Well, Super Samurai mostly functions single player. Co-op was horrible. You had to be in sync. So maybe Shinji and Asuka could pull it off, but nobody else.
Yeah. But yes, the game drops on October 28th. You can currently pre-order it at Amazon, Walmart, and presumably GameStop.
And maybe Target.
Yeah, Target or Best Buy too, maybe.
Best Buy.
Yeah, so you can go pre-order it now. Check it out. Also, since I'm talking Power Rangers in this segment here, I'm just going to mention it real quick. There was, of course, also some awesome Comic-Con exclusive toys being shilled out, including the solid 24-karat gold Dragon Dagger, maybe not solid, but plated Dragon Dagger, which looked awesome. Also, a limited set of all 7 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers keys. A limited edition Green Ranger figure in the style of Maul's little red Megaforce friend over there. And, yes. That's a creepy face. Stop doing that.
Watch out, eBay. Here comes the mole.
That's so offensive.
And also they had, what was the other thing? There was one other thing they had. And the White Ranger, MMPR, the movie White Ranger Power Morpher, they came with the White Tiger coin and the Falcon coin. That was pretty bad. I was looking. I want that.
Falcon coin!
Exactly.
It's morphin' time.
So yeah, it's
It's
very
what
cool
he
stuff.
uses when the Falcon coin is what he uses when he's thirsty to buy his Falcon Punch.
So
That's
that was
horrible.
that was a pretty awesome thing that happened. So who's next?
Over to Europe.
That would be me, I believe. Any of
I
you
think
are
so.
in Europe? No? Okay.
No.
Nope.
Sorry.
Next bit of news I will talk about will be, which I personally found this great. It says, and we, like I said, we're reading, so yeah, but it says, "Get your hands off me, you damn dirty Klingon." That's right. Star Trek and the Planet of the Apes will be mashed up for a sci-fi crossover comic book for the ages. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be to mind meld with a sentient ape, or see a Klingon on horseback brandishing a rifle? Readers will soon have the chance to peek into just such an alternate future, as IDW Publishing partners with Boom, which is the first crossover Boom's ever done, by the way. Which, when they're doing it, it's going to be a licensed crossover, and basically, to cut off of this long story short, it's the original cast and it's the original Planet of the Apes films meeting for the first time, obviously for the first time, but still, it's like they're meeting with the original stuff, which makes it seem more classic, and I'm all for that comic. I love the idea of those two meeting. While I'm
That
not a
sounds
big
cool.
Star Trek fan, I do love Planet of the Apes. I love all the Planet of the Apes, got every single one. Fucking awesome.
Nice. Now is this the Abrams Trek crew? Is that who
No.
that is?
No, he said it's the original.
What's the
They
actual
said, like I just said, original.
Nice.
I may have to check that out when it comes out.
Get your hands off me, you damn dirty ape.
I almost wish it was like legit live action or like animated, just so you could get like people in ape suits and William Shatner completely overacting like he did in the like.
I think
70s.
you basically want them. So basically you want them to show up dressed like the Gorn.
Yep.
Yes, I just want the cheesiest, awesome thing ever.
Yep. I would say two things. One, that would be amazing, Richter. And two, you can't use to get your hands off me, you damn dirty ape line, when I already used the line at the beginning, and it had Klingon, which made it better for the crossover.
That's the
It
only
did.
one he knows from.
And I didn't say Vita.
Yeah.
You maniacs! You blew it.
Oh crap!
Oh,
we need to awaken him.
That's the
Child
only other
beauty
line I
pageant.
know.
We need to
Child
awaken them. Child beauty pageant. See, paedophile.
It's Phoenix time.
Mention a child beauty pageant, he just kips up like Shawn Michaels. Huh?
That's horrible and funny.
Yeah, this is really getting old.
Wait for it.
But I can just see Sulu being like, "Oh my, even I don't swing that way."
Oh, I see what you do, because monkeys, they swing.
Ah! That's funny.
I made a funny.
I made a funny. Ha 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 ha.
I know, technically, if somebody's going to scream and do that you blew it up line, I feel like that would be Scotty. You bastards, you blew it up!
But Captain, I cannot change the laws of evolution.
There you go.
I would also ask with Star Trek, and I was actually going to ask this, even though Marcus kind of brought it up with the joke. The thing I'm curious about is, Star Trek, one of the rules is you're not meant to interfere with the natural progress of a planet, like another race and stuff, but can they with Earth? Because it's both another planet and their own. Sorry, was I being serious for a second? I'm a paedophile joke.
You have to also ask how many monkey women is Kirk going to sleep with?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the other question.
As long as they look like the hot one from the Tim Burton one. That monkey would so get my banana.
She's appealing.
Okay then.
Bestiophile.
There you go.
Hey, they're kind of related to us. It counts.
So let's go ahead and move on to na 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 Batman. Yes, that's right. The
Okay.
1960s Batman TV series starring Adam West and Burt Ward will be released for the first time on DVD and Blu-ray.
Nice.
Yes, Jim.
I was gonna say, I just noticed for anybody wondering when looking at Marcus Shadow's background over there, he's not in front of the fires of hell back there. There's just a really awkward lighting going on in his kitchen.
Yeah, but it's called lighting my house. Sorry.
Yeah, it's just a light
And
coming
the
through his
fire.
it's just a light coming through his paper walls.
Yes.
There you
So this will be a limited collector set containing all 120 episodes. Over 3 hours of special features, including Batmania Born, which explores the design and art of the series and of the fiction, and Bats of the Round Table, which has Adam West discussing the show in a roundtable with his celebrity friends, an Adam West scrapbook, trading cards, and a Hot Wheels replica of the 1960s Batmobile.
Nice.
It will retail for $270 US for the Blu-ray and $200 for the DVD. I want this.
Can I just say I'm very impressed that they're actually releasing this, considering how fucked up the rights on that series were for how many years.
Can I
Yeah.
also just say, as cool as that is for the fans alike and stuff, am I the only person that actually wants Adam West and his celebrity friends as like a reality TV show?
Yes.
Air that on E! Network with Total Divas and stuff. Adam West and his celebrity friends.
Adam West
I
and
thought that was. Oh,
Yes, Adam West and his celebrity friends at the new Legends house.
Yep.
they should. That should be the follow-up cartoon to Mike Tyson's Mysteries.
There you go.
Adam
Yes,
West and his celebrity friends. And it's
Yes.
like the Justice League.
yes, and they're the super
Yes.
friends. That's brilliant.
Yes. Yeah.
Olsen twin powers activate.
There you go.
I don't know if there's this friends. Those are
Wow.
the only things I can think of offhand.
And if it's the Olsen twins, can one of them take the form of killing Heath Ledger?
Wow.
Oh, giant needle.
sorry, was that a joke a little too dark? Sorry.
Oh, boy.
Sorry.
All right, over to Richter.
Indeed.
All right.
The
And,
games no one's heard about. It's Richter. Oh, sorry, wrong show.
yeah. But
Am I the only one who thinks that we need to write Richter a new theme song that goes to the tune of In a Park world, but it's in an 8-bit world?
Richter has a theme song. It's the games that no one's heard about. It's Richter Hammer in the XTR. morning. But no, over to Richter.
Indeed.
But okay, probably my favorite news out of it, again, Transformers related, and it's the Transformers toys related. They talked about the figures for the 2015 year, and the theme is Combiner Wars. And I loves me some combiners, or just stalts, or whatever you want to call them. If people that know me and ever they ask, one of my favorite Transformers of all time, Devastator. So of course, I'm excited about Combiner Wars. But they showed some pictures of the first two combiners, one of which is Pyrion, and the other which is not Motormaster. What's his name? Menasor. And basically the gimmick is that the deluxe size guys become limbs. And supposedly, at least for what they said, all of the deluxes are going to do that. That's like the $10, $15 size. Sorry. And then the bigger size, the Voyager, they're like $20, $25, are all going to become the torso. And
The
supposedly,
It's also crossing over with Star Trek.
no.
I was
Oh,
making a Star
Voyager
Trek
size?
Voyager
Gotcha.
joke. Yeah.
Gotcha. But they did. They showed a picture of it, but I have not seen it, so I don't know if anyone took a picture of it. But Optimus Prime is one of the Voyagers, so theoretically, Optimus Prime could be a torso, and I don't know if he'll have his own limbs, but you can put the limbs on him. And the limbs are what is called Scramble City, meaning that the ports are universal, so any arm you can put on any of the torsos. So like you could basically mix and match cars and planes or whatever. And
So wait a minute. If I'm-
Will
if
this
I'm-
be compatible with Zord Builder?
There you stole my joke. Fuck you all.
that would be amazing. But no.
Technically, you didn't make the joke, so I didn't steal it.
You stole it before I could use it.
No, I perfected it. You mad, bro?
Yes, I am. I'm so bad everything's shaking up and down.
Wow. It's like what if Michael J. Fox took a selfie?
And then.
Sorry, that was inappropriate.
But at least it was funny.
Just a little bit.
And accurate.
And now we're all going to hell.
Oh Lord, we are going to hell.
I mean, we're all going down for that, but the pedophile jokes are all fine, yeah.
Yeah, those are fine.
Those are fine too.
Well, I assume they're not true. If they are, then no, then it's not funny.
Just like it'd be fine if you ask Richter, what's your favourite combiner con from Transformers? He said, Stephen Hawking getting in his van. I still want to see Stephen Hawking be ejected from like the air, like Thunderbird 4 out of Thunderbird 2.
I could see that.
Okay, then.
No
And
Thunder.
speaking
no,
of
well,
pedophile
no,
jokes, over to Jim.
Nah, fuck you.
If it helps, me and Richter are both in the vicinity of kids, so would you do it for a Jimmy snack?
Wow. Okay, I'm not appearing in these anymore if this keeps happening. This is getting ridiculous. Anyway.
We gotta do something to keep this fun.
Uh-huh.
To be fair, you complained when we made boring jokes. There's no pleasing you.
Uh-huh.
Okay, fine. No more paedophile jokes,
Alright.
even if they're accurate.
Shut up. What the? Oh, really? God damn it.
News?
Really?
No, hang on a minute. Let me see. There we go. Okay. I thought the link to my news broke, but somehow it added a period on the end of it and it didn't go.
Just,
Okay.
and I'm not saying this to be a dick, just to help you out for future, Jim. Copy and paste and put in a text document.
I did. Apparently, when I copied and pasted it, I somehow got a period on the end of it somehow. But anyway, I got it off. So anyway,
Cool.
here's a thing. Here's a thing that's coming up, and I'm a little trying to understand this at all.
Here's a thing that exists. Wow, welcome to Around the Pound, Stacey.
Exactly. So they announced that there's forthcoming going to be a Toy Story holiday special, which in and of itself doesn't sound like too bad of a thing. I mean, heck, the first movie took place at Christmas, or at least part of it did at the end. Fair enough.
Written and produced by the people who made this story.
The only reason I did that is I've seen all the other Toy Story holiday specials, like that Toy Story of Robot Tower and stuff like that for Halloween.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing.
Well, let me tell you about this one, because I'm almost giving a what the fuck to this one, because this sounds awesome yet out of place for a Toy Story world. But here we go. So it was announced in the panel. They had one of the voice actresses for Trixie, who is the you don't know, Trixie's the character of Toy Story 3. She is the little Triceratops that is owned by the new little girl that owns the toys now. Anyway, apparently they've been trying to get this short made for 24 years. It was back then called the Tin Toy Christmas, and that was originally they were going to try to get it made, and then they decided to make a feature-length movie, so they took the characters from it and they made Toy Story. So now they're coming full circle. Clips from Toy Story That Time Forgot, which is apparently the name of this thing. It shows Bonnie taking the toys, specifically Woody, Buzz, because he got the main characters, and then the two dinosaur toys, Rex and Trixie, to a friend's house for a few days after Christmas. The friend Mason got a video game and isn't paying attention to other new toys, including an epic... including an epic set of battle swords. That is a thing. Trixie decided to meet the other dinosaurs, and she's the co-lead of the special. The deal here being that Woody and Buzz are there, and Tom Hanks and Tim Allen are on board, if you're wondering. But Trixie tries to befriend the battle swords and get into gear, and she thinks they're playing around. But the characters, much like Buzz in the first movie, don't realize that they're toys. And if you're wondering, in the special, the battle swords fight in the arena of Woe, or Woe, W-H-O-A, and they beat up other toys. They are led by Reptilius Maximus, voiced by Kevin McKidd. And basically the idea is...
Optimus Prime in Season 3 of Robots in Disguise. Well, not Robots in Disguise.
Rescue Bots.
Rescue Bots,
Yeah.
thank you. I forget the name of that one. I always
Yeah.
refer to as the kiddie one, but thank you, Rick.
Yeah.
You're right.
Basically, he's Reptilius Maximus is, quote, sort of like a nice version of Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. And basically, the thing about these guys is they never been played with, and they don't realize the toys, so they're all kind of super serious and out there. There's female warriors, the Elysian Guards, and the Raptorian Guards, who are like the stormtroopers of that world, meaning they're the most common. There's clerics, who are the spiritual leaders. Oh my god. There you go. There's Raygon, a scientist in charge of sizing up the battle swords and getting them into best-fitting gear.
Nice.
Too
Nice.
soon, Toy Story. Too soon.
It wasn't 25 years ago when they planned this.
Yeah, exactly. The battle swords live in a wrecked world that's been ruptured by Zeta rays. They're trying to survive in a place that essentially wants to crush them. There's a whole world rounded out about these characters, but anyway, they had a handful of clips, and there's endearing laugh out loud moments. But there's the pictures here of these battle swords, and I would say what these look like. These battle swords, they look like, if you understand this reference, they look like dinosaur toys from something like, I don't know if I'd say Jurassic Park, but
They look like Dino Riders?
something like that. Dino Riders crossed with the soldiers from that movie Small Soldiers.
Yeah.
That's what they look like.
So lizards and Thundercats.
Yeah, something like that. And I'll give you the picture after the stream, but yeah, it's kind of weird. They seem like really like. I guess the fact of the matter is that despite the show being focused around Andy and his toys, even though he was a boy, he never really had any of the kind of toys that one might associate with the 90s, for example. Any of the roided up, super masculine, hyper violent type toys, and now we're apparently going to introduce them into this world.
Which, I think that sounds amazing. I love that idea. 'Cause to be
Yeah,
fair,
it
they've done
just-
stuff like that with Buzz, with giving a whole world around Buzz and Zurg and stuff like that. So it kind of works with these. And
Yeah.
if you followed Toy Story throughout the years, part of the things that's gone with the main core is they knew the audience grew up with the films. So this is basically to reference the toys you would have played with as a kid when you watched it, which that totally works. I look forward to that.
Fair enough. But yeah, they're also going to fight beasts like the Goliathon, which are a tribute to Godzilla and Kaiju. So that's a thing.
Bless you.
Yeah, fine. But yeah, it kind of, just seeing these characters, I'm like, really, in a Toy Story world? I'm not so sure that's going to work, but I'm willing to give it a shot. I trust Pixar. For those who would like to see it, the special will air on the ABC network on December the 2nd.
Yeah, and
I-
to be fair,
And yes, for obsessive collectors, there will be a full line of 4-inch action figures from this special.
yeah. Like I said, to be fair, Jim, they've had figures like G.I. Joes and stuff like that within the Toy Story world in various forms or another. Like they've had Care Bears, Barbies, they've had Potato Heads, which is, I know they're not violent ones, but they've had like the G.I.
Yeah.
Joe types and all that before, so it kind of makes
That's true.
sense.
That's true. In Toy Story and that other special, that one special where they were stuck in the motel room when the kid left them there, they did run into that. The hotel manager was collecting old toys and selling them on fake eBay for money, and they found was it the dismembered G.I. Joe guy? Or I think this G.I. Joe that had his friend dismembered or something like that. That was kind of fun.
Yep. Yep, which it works because the Toy Story world is supposed to be our world, and they're just toys
Yeah.
that come alive and stuff. So it works. That sounds cool. Which month did you say it airs?
December the 2nd, it comes out on ABC.
Okay, December. So hopefully that's still shown in December over here. And hey, do it a couple of days later, and happy birthday to me.
There you go. That's good stuff. It's also known that there will be a new character called Angel Kitty who will be voiced by Joan Cusack. It's a little ornament toy. So there will be some interesting. We don't know Kevin Kidd is voicing Reptilius Maximus. I don't know who that guy is, but yeah, seems like a good thing. Should be interesting. And the short will be a full 30 minutes, just in case you're wondering. It's a full 30-minute thing.
Nice.
So there we go. Fun stuff. Moving on.
Over to Wolverine.
And I'm going to go with pretty big news now because I'm going to mix it in. But I'm not sure who he actually gives a shit. I'm sure a couple of people do. But last year's San Diego Comic-Con, brown coats all over the verse got excited by the announcement of Firefly Online, which planned to reveal which plan to revive the cult hit show as an online game. Firefly Online, however, never made it past its summer release date, but at San Diego Comic-Con 2014, we at least have some exciting news. The original cast is officially returning to reprise their role. There's also a brand new trailer that provides the first look at actual gameplay. It features a cameo as well by none other than Nathan Fillion, better known as Captain Malcolm Reynolds from the show. Firefly Online is described as an online strategic role-playing game that will let you take control of your own ship, explore the galaxy. It's in the works for Windows, Mac, Android, and iOS from a little-known studio called Sparkplug Games.
So does that mean you'll be getting that game, Mo?
Most likely. Firefly does sound awesome. I did love Firefly, the TV show, and Serenity, so yeah, I'll probably pick that up.
Cool.
Ironically, it's not the Josh Whedon MMO I wanted. I wanted the Room with Buffy one, but still, I will take Firefly, and I will love the shit out of Firefly.
Yeah, Buffy MMO would be awesome. All right. So, oh heck, I'll actually do this one first. It's not actually on my list, but fuck it, it bears mentioning. We got some news about Gotham, the TV show, from Comic-Con. They had a little interview session with some of the cast. I obviously had a panel as well. Apparently, Gotham is going to be almost like a straight-up crime drama. They're going to be, it's going to be kind of like, what's that show? I can think of the theme song. I can't think of the name of the show.
CIS? NCIS?
No, no.
Law and Order without the order?
Law and Order. That's what I was thinking of. It's going to be kind of like Law and Order without the law, unless they decide to bring in Harvey Dent, which they may do.
I thought the order part was meant to be for the court, because if they get arrested, then they go to... my bad.
Right, I was talking more about like the investigation side of it, where they're like investigating crime lords and talking to witnesses and stuff like that.
That's
nice.
That's the low part. I don't think lawyers usually don't. It's not Phoenix Wright. Like the lawyers don't go out and actually do stuff.
I'm gonna say I'm sorry. I'm gonna say I'm sorry, Richter, in advance. I do validate you as a person. But I'm just gonna scream out, Richter. I am the law.
I am the law.
Had to be done once.
That's right.
Yeah, apparently they're going to bring in Gotham City's rich crime history with this one. They're going to bring in like Carmine Falcone and the Penguin before he was the Penguin. It was Oswald Cobblepot, and we're probably going to see a lot of different actual criminals as opposed to supervillains, which could be awesome, and it's going to show them rising up through the ranks. You have Gordon with Bullock, and you have Gordon's wife before she becomes his wife, so you get to see their relationship and how she becomes his wife. And you get to see, apparently, with Alfred, what they've done with Gotham is they've made him... They took an aspect of him from the comics and they made him like, I guess like ex-British military or something like that. Secret Service type stuff. And they're... What's that?
I just said, yeah, which I always loved that about Alfred. Of no wonder he's there for Batman is because he's like the Secret Service and stuff. Cause like that totally fucking works for him. No wonder.
Mm-hmm. But I think because this is going to be young Bruce, you're going to see basically Alfred do a lot of the Batman stuff. Like he's going to be protecting young Bruce. And supposedly the big overarching plot of Gotham is the war for Bruce's soul. It's basically going to be Alfred v. Gordon. Of Alfred being this... Yeah, it's basically because Alfred's like going to be this gruff military guy. He's going to be the one who's going to be like, you need to learn how to defend yourself, Master Bruce. You must learn how to fight. You must stand up for yourself. You know. Whereas Gordon, on the other side of it, is going to be like, no, he's a kid, don't know. And it's kind of, you're going to see the genesis of Bruce's want for revenge and he's going to start going on that path toward becoming the Batman, and it's going to be kind of a tug of war between Gordon and and Alfred of should Bruce become the Batman? Should he follow this path? And Gordon, being a cop, knows what happens if you follow that path, whereas you have Alfred on the other side who cares about Bruce, but because he's a military man, he's like, he's going to be the one who's going to nurture Bruce and say, I'm going to support you on whatever you do, and I will help you, do what you want to do and go on this path of vengeance.
I facepalmed.
And you're facepalming.
I facepalmed because you can't have Alfred want to try and make him into Batman, or try and make him into something like Batman, because a big part of Batman Alfred, I should say, in the comics, a lot of times whenever they need to do drama, which, yeah, they kind of did this in the Nolan films too, is he's then complaining about, oh, I never wanted this life for you. It's like, yes, you did! Yes, you did in the comics. I don't know, Smallville shit. It's like, no! No!
And I think the creators of Gotham...
named Ivy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think the creators of Gotham realized that.
Ivy in it, and I was like,
Yeah.
I think the creators of Gotham realized that. That's why they're starting with Alfred saying, well, this is the path you want, this is the path you'll take, I'll help you with it.
Yeah, which I don't like that. Alfred wasn't supposed to help him. He's supposed to do it on his own.
Yep. Mo, you were breaking up a little bit. That's why we didn't quite respond.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's kind of what came out of there. Also, the little interview I saw on IGN took place outdoors.
So all I said is, how much of what I said did you hear?
We heard most of it. I heard most of it anyway. I kind of understood what you were going on about. It's like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I said
a different take on it.
Yeah, he's supposed to go on his own and stuff like that. I also didn't like renaming Ivy and stuff. I'm like, oh, so far I'm probably not going to tune in to watch the show.
Well, I mean, it's not. I don't think it's going to be so much of Alfred doing the training stuff, in as much as Alfred supporting Bruce and helping him make the decision to go out on his own to learn how to become the Batman, and maybe imparting some of his military knowledge to him.
Mm.
Maybe. I just don't like the idea that the show is meant to be Gotham, so it's before they need a Batman, and it's going to focus. It sounds like they're going to put way too much focus on Bruce, and it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's going to be more.
You're doing it wrong.
Well, they're not going to focus on that. It's going to be the overarching story, but episode to episode, it's going to be basically this crime drama about the war for Gotham City, because Gotham City is going to start in like this broken down state, and it's going to be about, can Jim Gordon rise to become the commissioner of the Gotham PD and take back the city and try to restore what the city once had. So it's basically going to be like Gotham PD v the crime lords is what it's going to be, with the whole Batman story being at the back of it.
Yeah, which I was saying, if you're going to do a Gotham PD like they've done Gotham PD comics and stuff, make it about that. Make it about Gotham PD. Don't include young Catwoman. Don't include young Bruce's story. Don't rename Ivy and shove her in there for the sake of it. It's like...
Yeah, I agree.
I don't like that. But that's just me. What does Ricky think?
If he's there. People have been going in and out from the call.
I don't think I'd watch the show either way, so I don't really... it doesn't bother me. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
He's a stay-at-home dad gamer, not the stay-at-home TV watcher. Come on.
Yeah.
He's also not the stay-at-home dad reader, but he mentioned comics. He has other interests, Jim.
But I'm like one of 6 people who doesn't really like Batman, so I wouldn't care.
Yeah, he doesn't really like Batman, but I will say he does have other interests. He's not a Power Ranger character. Yeah, I mentioned that again. He doesn't have just one interest. I just like sports.
Yeah.
I just like Jim.
No one has said that.
No one said I just like Jim. That's me.
I'm sorry, I'm kidding.
I'm going to lie and say we're sorry, Jim, and it's said with love.
Indeed.
Starting the sentence with I'm going to lie doesn't help it, but still.
And Jim, I would just like to say, yeah, we're going to be mean to you, But I'm glad for once it's not me being on the butt end of the jokes.
Oh, Marcus feels left out, Rick.
Uh-oh, we gotta change that.
No, I'm okay with that. No.
No, I'm sure because of what me and Rick have been doing. I'm sure somewhere Anastasia Laserbeam is hanging upside down in a wing of her own cocoons, laughing like, "Yay, it's not me." Okay.
Yeah.
Hi,
much.
Stacy.
Hilarious.
So,
Anyway,
speaking
was
of the stay-at-home dad reader, take it away, Richter.
All right.
What are you going to tell us about Transformers this time?
All right. About overpriced toys. It's probably
All right.
my last little bit of news, but they showed
Okay.
they do the statues from Sideshow Collectibles.
I was gonna say, to be fair,
Yeah.
if you're going about overpriced toys, didn't Jim already win that with a gold-plated Dragon
Yeah,
Dagger?
pretty much.
That I face bombed like.
I think that's pretty much the winner of overpriced shit at Comic-Con.
Yeah, over.
How much was it though?
It was like
$150.
Yeah, $150. Gold-plated
Okay.
dragon.
Oh,
Less
no,
than
Rick-
Batman, which is what the fuck?
No,
Yeah.
I said, oh no.
How
Rick
was
just-
a gold-plated Dragon Dagger worth less than Batman?
like I said, Jeff, the way Richter said, okay then, and when like he was excited, he's going to beat it.
I don't know. He already did pretty well considering he's, what did he say, $25 for a torso?
Yes.
If it helps,
Well, it also is a vehicle and a robot and
Okay.
a torso.
oh god,
Okay.
if it helps, I'll just go to play you
Yes.
in.
Okay, so Sideshow Collectible, they make those really high-end, really pricey statues, and they showed two of the ones that they are coming out with for the Transformers movie. Optimus Prime looks like the one from Age of Extinction. Oh, no, I don't think it is actually. That looks like a different shield. But anyway, and movie Starscream from 1, 2, or 3. It's like the older ones, but yeah, it's probably not Prime for the new one. But okay, let's start with Starscream. He is $1,800 or $1,750. And, for a non-transforming statue.
face.
Wow.
Rick,
And,
buy me one
yeah.
for my birthday.
No.
Actually,
Yeah, you
I
see the
also-
price of that, and it's like you could get all 3 of the current gen systems and still
Yeah.
save money.
actually, Rick, I kind of want to play with it to get me 2.
Yeah.
I don't
and
think
now-
you can play with it. I don't think it has moving parts.
I'll
Yeah.
find a way to
And-
play with it, even
Okay,
if it's dangling on string like Lego.
There you go. And now, Richter, the cost of Optimus Prime?
$2,299.
That's almost a prime number.
Yeah.
Haha.
I don't know if it actually is. I was just taking a shot, 50-50.
And probably because he has a sword and a shield. I don't know. I just saw I was like, oh, those look kind of nice, but they don't transform or move. And I see the price tag, and I was like, oh, hell no.
Wait,
For that price, it better be solid gold. That's all I'm
I just
saying.
I just realized what Rick said. It's like over 1,800 for these toys, and the Transformers that don't transform. That's in their fucking name.
Well, not all of them transform. Like they, this wasn't at Comic-Con, but they showed a Hot Toys Optimus, or 2 of them. And like Hot Toys are super expensive. They're like $250, $350 each or whatever. But they have like extra accessories, and they're like off of like a lot of them are off of people. So like the Avengers one, like the face sculpt actually looks like the actor. And it's kind of creepy actually. But,
Nice.
you know, it's like that's still like a fifth of the price of these.
Yeah.
I will say, I now understand what you want about with that. When you mentioned Hot Toys, because I don't really hear of them, I was thinking of the little Hot Wheel cars, and you said
Oh.
250. I was like, well, who the fuck pays 250 for a Hot Wheels car?
Yeah. Okay, now that makes sense. But yeah, so overpriced statues.
Yeah.
Lovely.
How many are you going to buy, Rick?
None. The one I
Oh.
did want, which was it was one of the exclusive, was the Heralds of Unicron, where it was like 4 of the Transformers Fall of Cybertron molds, and they had like 80s like punk hair and like 80s coloring, and they had like bandanas, and they were like an 80s band, and one of them had a keytar, one had a guitar, and the other 2 had microphones, and it looked totally awesome, but it was overpriced.
Nice.
And a lot of people hated it, but I'm pretty sure people, you know, that kind of grew up in the 80s and knew what they were referencing are like, that's awesome. And then like, I think some of the younger people are like, that's stupid. And it's like, get it.
Yeah.
I will say,
Go watch your robots in disguise.
I will say though, Rick, you could get lucky. coming up within the next year is your anniversary with the lovely wife Blade. So
Mhm.
it's a case of,
Nice.
I believe the next number you hit on your anniversary, isn't that prime? Like one's paper, one's gold and shit. Isn't this next one prime, which means she might buy it, yeah?
Yeah, but I wouldn't want those. There's a lot of
I
other
wouldn't want
Transformer ones I'd want instead of that.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't want those, and you gotta tell her when you go back, wife Blade? Yeah. Mole says that on next anniversary, he's checked it. It's officially the prime one. You have to buy something for a prime.
Yeah. She buys him a subscription to Amazon Prime.
Did they look? Did they look good?
Oh yeah, which ones? The
The
expensive ones?
The obscenely expensive ones.
Yeah, they do look nice. They're very detailed, but they're just. I'd rather get a masterpiece Transformer. Those look good to me, and it actually transforms. So
Yeah.
I'd rather go with that, and it's like $100 for those versus
Yeah.
22.
Yeah,
The only way.
my favorite with the Transformers were, if you remember them, the little titanium ones, which didn't
Yes.
transform, but I just loved the little statue look because they looked, and I think they were hand painted.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, they did actually have titanium ones that did transform, but yeah.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they were like
Nice.
6-inch
I would
versus
find
4-inch. Yeah.
It was
Molded.
I of course have the Soundwave one. I was lucky enough to find that, and I was like,
Nice.
buying.
and
I mean,
you
the only way those figures are worth it is if you get the figure, you can pop off the head that's revealed to be a helmet and Michael Bay's face is underneath, and then you can detonate it in a big explosion. It's got glycerin inside or something.
And
Nice.
turtle genitalia.
Yes, and 3D CGI accurate internal genitals. That was a great article.
Nice.
Speaking of which, just a little off topic, kind of. I actually know someone who paints those little figurines, like the Warhammer stuff.
Ah.
I know someone who
Yeah,
works for
hi.
the company that does that stuff.
You mean
What's
for a
that?
job? You mean for a job, right?
Yeah,
Hi,
Yeah.
like when they create the figurines.
Yeah, I didn't do it for a job, but I hella painted Warhammer figures.
Yeah, I know a guy who does that because
So it's crispy.
he's one of the customers in my shop, so he's always sending stuff to like China and like Thailand and stuff, so that the parent company can look it over.
Nice.
And so he'll come in and he'll show me stuff that's like not even on the market yet because it hasn't even been approved by marketing by the parent company.
Nice.
For like Warhammer and stuff, and I'm like, that's awesome. And like he does like HeroClix and stuff like that too. Like this company does everything. It's like like all the Wizards of the Coast stuff. Yeah, it's pretty
Nice.
awesome.
So who's next?
You.
Alrighty. That's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure. Next thing on my list, I have 2 movies to talk about or announced at the same little Comic-Con event, one of which sounds kind of cool, one of which will probably suck.
Okay.
So, the first movie I want to talk about, it's a film called Pixels.
Oh God.
Malls already not.
It's about my avatar picture there.
Yes. It's about Richter's avatar picture and the source of it, and how Richter lives in his 8-bit world. It's going to be all about Richter. No.
And how I become a Mighty Max toy.
Exactly.
I'm
But
now
no,
making a note for Cards Against Humanity for 2 blank cards. Lifetime presents Pixels, the story of Richter Hammer.
There you go.
Yeah.
Draw
Presents
on.
blank the story of Rick Hammer.
Yeah.
But the film called Pixels, it's apparently this is the premise of the film here. There was only a short promo for this at the convention, but the premise of the film here is that aliens misinterpret video feeds of our classic arcade games from back in the day, from the 80s, and they misinterpret them as a declaration of war. So they attack the Earth using the games as models for their assaults. So the President of the United States calls upon his childhood best friend, a former 1980s video game champion, who is now a home theater installer and had a previous relationship with the President's attractive wife, to lead a team of old-school arcaders to defeat the aliens and save the planet. Now, before I say any further, opinion of that based on the plot.
I like that plot, but I don't trust them to make it right.
I preferred the plot from the short that this was loosely based on, where all the pixels actually came out the TV and stuff, and they came alive, and that's what they were. That sounded a lot cooler because, yeah, Rick, tell me, or Marcus, tell me, does this sound like a good military strategy to you? Okay, we've watched the fact these Earthlings have been destroying these exact ships in these exact formations since the 1980s. Let's recreate it and go to war.
Let's be
Yeah.
fair. Most people were pretty bad at Space Invaders.
Yeah.
Remember Futurama? I could never kill the last one. My brother always had to do it for me.
Yeah.
I am Lure of the planet Nintendo 64.
I will also warn you, Rick, because I know what Jim's going to say next. Don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, Mole knows about this already. Now, there's a reason I want to get your ideas based on the premise first. Because this movie is being made by Happy Madison and stars Adam Sandler and his friends.
Grown Ups 3 Pixels.
Pretty much. The President of the United States is being played by Kevin James. Adam Sandler is, of course, the
Wow.
1980s video game champion that has to save the day. However, I will give them credit. The President's hot wife is Jane Krakowski, so props on getting her. And also, one of the other members of the team include Josh Gad, who obsessed conspiracy theorist and gamer. Michelle Monaghan, unique weapons developer, love interest for Sam. And my personal favorite, Sam's brash former video game playing nemesis, Peter Dinklage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which when I'd read
Please
that
tell
to
me he
Marcus
says
the
those
other week.
wizards came from the moon.
Yeah.
I'd read that to Marcus the other week because they had announced it earlier and stuff as well. And like I said to Marcus, while the concept could have been something enjoyable if you can get past the logic I pointed out, don't you just hate it when bad people happen to good plots?
Yeah, really. That's why I fully anticipate this movie to be shit. No. So moving on from the shit movie to the possibly good movie, because these were both at the Columbia Pictures presentation. The other film coming out from Columbia Pictures that sounds kind of awesome, Goosebumps. I have some hopes for this film. The panel is focused on film star Jack Black, who was there. And yes, despite Jack Black being in this movie, I still have high hopes for this movie. And he was there with, who was this guy? Freaking... Yeah, I know. He was there with Rob Letterman.
Or, say again, Jim. Say again. Say, I still have high hopes for this movie, just because I never get to do this.
I still have high hopes for this movie.
Twice the pride, double the fall.
Ha! Nice.
Thank you. That one never gets referenced. Say
No,
again
no,
so Rick can do a quip.
I have some high hopes for this movie. No, he didn't do it. Anyway,
He was face palming. You just can't tell because his pixel head's against the camera.
his 8-bit facepalm hand doesn't do that. So anyway, Rob Letterman is apparently dude from Columbia Pictures. They don't actually identify his title here, but he's there.
Dude
And-
from Columbia Pictures an official title?
I don't. Apparently not. But anyway,
I want that on a business card.
Yeah, that would be good.
Where's your card, dude? Dude, where's your card?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, basically, if you don't know, the premise of the film is that Jack Black plays R.L. Stine, author of the Goosebumps series, and the idea is that he and his daughter move to this new town, and the daughter meets his friend, and they find out that R.L. Stine's books are actually physically containing the monsters that are written within them, and the girls accidentally release the monsters, and then they have to go on an adventure to put them back. That is the basic premise of this film.
Don't cross the ink!
Yeah, pretty much. However, the panel sounded kind of weird about a few of it because, again, Comic-Con. But here is the premise of this here. Well, that's the premise. Basically, they got a glimpse of some of the monsters from the anthology, including the giant praying mantis, the abominable snowman, the scarecrow, and a myriad of demons, vampires, and gnomes. They mentioned that some of them are completely digital, and some are completely practical, and everything in between.
If he's in the film, which he should be, Slappy needs to be entirely practical.
Of course, a Goosebumps movie wouldn't be a real Goosebumps movie without the series' most notorious baddie, Slappy the Living Dummy. Not only did attendees get a sneak peek at him on screen, but Jack Black actually took out the real Slappy ventriloquist dummy, who probably came to life and started insulting Jack Black.
Nice.
And I quote, "Who's pulling the strings now, Jack?" Slappy then brought out a few of his friends, including the Bog Monster, the Graveyard Ghouls, the Executioner, Professor Shock, and the Haunted Mask and the Scarecrow, to drag Jack Black off stage, at which point Slappy coolly turned back over to Mr. Letterman and said, "So Rob, I got a couple of projects I want to pitch you." Goosebumps, the film is slated to hit theaters in, let's go say, Pixels is going to hit theaters May 15th of 2015. Goosebumps will hit theaters several months thereafter on August 7th of the same year.
Yep.
We got the pen. We got the paper. I love this town.
Like I said, the first film sounds like it's going to end up being probably shit.
Yeah.
The second film, I don't have high hopes for it to being great. 'Cause like I said, it sounds like they copied Brothers Grimm, kind of. And what they've done with the TV show Grimm, which is also similar thing.
Yeah.
But they've put in Kung Fu Panda, which Kung Fu Panda is great, but Jack Black, no.
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 But unrelated to Comic-Con, no, Kung Fu Panda 3, 2017.
Yay!
Yeah, that
Although I will say,
sounds like-
the fact they're mixing CGI and practical, because like I said, something like Slappy I think needs to be practical. That itself could be an interesting thing, because I'm glad they went practical instead of just all CGI like most films do nowadays, which is still, in my opinion, making a monster in a film or making a film and then just doing CGI effects and no practical model work, which looks a lot better. It's just the lazy man's movie making.
Yeah.
It sounds like this movie is what would happen if someone took Star Trek and made it about Gene Roddenberry getting beamed up to the Enterprise.
Yeah. Not far off.
Which I'm like, that could almost be a betrayal of the source material at that point.
Yep. I was mentioned that based on the footage that they screened from the film had a suburban horror comedy tone along the lines of something like Hocus Pocus or Fright Night.
Fair enough.
Hocus Pocus, yay.
Yeah, I never even heard of Fright Night, so.
Well, let's move on to Grizzly Adams over there.
Agreed.
Okay, this is the one that no one's probably going to give two craps about, but it's my longest one. DC Comics Multiversity Enrollment Panel featured writer Grant Morrison, artist Cameron Stewart, and editor Eddie, I was saying this right, Berganza, promised details of the ever-gasting, finally releasing Multiversity comic, which I've got loads of text here, but I'm just going to try and keep this shorter, is basically Multiversity is like a look through all of the multiverse and stuff like that, or like all the different worlds and everything, which is kind of cool. Like it says here, after Multiversity #1 hits, a series of other #1s will be released featuring other superheroes in other universes. For example, they're going to do the Society of Heroes #1, which features heroes like Lady Blackhawk, the Immortal Man, and Doc Fate fighting zombies. A sketch of Abin Sur was shown, and Morrison said, "Well, we never see any Abin Sur stories because he looks like Satan." And Abin Sur, an analog, will be featured in the SOS as the Green Lantern of Earth. Right, yeah, that's one world. Morrison talked about other universes. Well, this is my favourite one. Earth 3, full of second-generation superheroes, the children of Batman, Superman, and others who have nothing to... And I'm just going to stop here before someone says it. Doesn't mean it's Damian, and doesn't mean it's the kid from Superman Returns. And others who have nothing to do because the world has already been saved. So they become like the TV show The Hills, having pointless conversations and wearing skimpy costumes and the like. Then something actually happens where they're going to have to handle an emergency, and we'll get to see if they can be superheroes. He also talked about how the daughter of Lex Luthor will be dating Batman's son, which Superman's son isn't happy about because Lex killed Superman in this universe. And there's like a fourth one called Pax America, or Americana, I should say, which features alternate Carlton characters. This one just made me go, yay, which you may remember was the same way that Watchmen was created. And this book is designed, that one is basically designed to sort of be like Watchmen. For example, instead of a smiley face with blood on it, they have the peace sign on fire. So, yay, that sounds like it's going to be an awesome series and just fun.
Indeed. Also, can I just say, Marcus, the description of the one before that about the whole thing involving Lex Luthor's daughter and Batman's son, did they just rip off your plot line from that RPG we never got going?
I guess it must have ears everywhere.
Apparently.
I would doubt it because this has been in development since 2006.
Oh, so Marcus Shadow ripped them off. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know it
He
existed.
has ears everywhere.
I am the Shadow,
Likely.
and the Shadow knows.
You're Lamont Cranston, wealthy man about town? Really, nobody saw the movie The Shadow.
He's got problems.
I did.
I was just deleting the stuff I've already discussed, so I've got all my lists ready.
I
I've
own
only
it. I
got
love
two
the
more
movie.
things.
Where do you think I got my name from?
Your mother.
Boom. Mama Shadow.
Or because it's what people said you were so hideous you must stay in.
Ha.
Wow.
Either one of those could have worked.
All right.
Hang on, Victor, can you
Moving
give us the
on.
origin of his name?
I assume it was the Shadow, the
Oh, come
comic
on.
book character.
Come on, hilarious backstory, go.
Come on. Come on. Improper backstory. Come on.
Ugh. Wouldn't be that funny though. I'd need time to plan. I don't have a big book of when I don't have time to plan.
You're Batman?
Yeah.
I'm Batman. I'm Batman's son. I couldn't rise to the challenge, so I just.
So I would say next week on Around the Pound, Rick the Hammer gives Marcus Shadow a hilarious backstory
Indeed.
with detailed pictures.
Wait, does that mean that your wife is the daughter of Lex Luthor?
No.
Tell her. She's now the daughter of Lex Luthor. That's officially Hangout
she's-
canon.
She's like
No.
the daughter of Ma and Pa Kent, if they had
Yeah.
an actual child.
And I would also
Right.
argue, just because we always make this joke, Richter is bald, Jim. His daughter is the daughter of Lex Luthor.
True. True. That's a valid point. But also, the other point is, so wait, by like the real Ma and Pa Kent or by freaking Kevin Costner?
Kevin Costner was awesome.
Her dad is kind of a dick, so maybe.
Alright, fair enough.
Fair enough.
Yes,
Yes.
I'm gonna say I'm sure he's so thrilled that his daughter married a man whose job is to stay at home with his children and play video games all day.
Yep. What do you think he did? He just got up early and went outside, and then came home. And
Yeah. Okay.
never mind.
All right. So
Who's next?
me.
Okay, I can do this.
Gilbert.
That would be our lovely co-host. We need to show him the respect he deserves.
So let's talk Power Rangers. Fuck you.
Is that the new series, Power Rangers? Fuck you.
Yeah. It needs to be done in the
Rangers,
Team
fuck
America
you,
style.
Power Rangers to the rescue!
It needs to be done in Team America style. Power Rangers, fuck you.
yeah.
There you go.
Going again to kick the motherfucking kaiju.
That's what needs to happen when they adapt the Sentai parody.
Yeah.
There you go. That'll be the American adaptation of Akiva Ranger.
So Victor, now you have to basically rewrite the lyrics of Team America Fuck Yeah for Power Rangers, and that needs to be the theme to the upcoming radio play.
Indeed. Also, since we're now on this topic, Marcus Shadow, I think you have a relevant Comic-Con news article directly related to this.
Like I said, we're going to talk about Power Rangers here. IGN talked with Jason David Frank, and when the host mentioned that they talked to Roberto Orci, and Orci had said that there will be some continuity with the series. So somehow, some way, this movie, the reboot, MMPR reboot, is going to have some connection to the series continuity. Orci is also quoted as having said, almost definitely when asked about returning Rangers. So it sounds like he definitely wants, some returning cast to come back. And that's not a stretch considering how heavily Saban Brands is working with the movie makers for this movie. JDF went on to say that he feels that some brand protection is needed for the Power Rangers franchise, and he wants to make sure the Power Rangers movie keeps no higher than PG-13, which I have to say, really?
Why?
I guess it depends on what they're aiming for with the MMPR reboot. I was kind of hoping the MMPR reboot would be targeting an older audience since they already have the TV show for the kids.
They do, but you also have to think PG-13 in terms of movies, not in terms of the TV. Whenever they've done movies, that's been like Episode 3 was that. Some of the Harry Potter films were that, like the darker Harry Potter films were that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, PG-13 can include limited amounts of nudity, violence, drug use, all kinds of shit. There's a lot you can get away with in a PG-13 movie.
Yeah, it's just TV where you can't have
Get
PG.
one F, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he said he wants it no higher than PG-13 and to keep in mind that it's going to be for the kids and stuff like that. And I'm just like, oh, no, don't target the kids. Please don't target the kids.
I would argue Power Rangers needs to be PG-13 or lower just because, like we said, and you yourself also mentioned it, Marcus, when they announced the fan film, when we did one of the talks on, I don't know, one of the other sites, I forget which, but it was a case of, like you said, that was way too dark for Power Rangers. Do you really want a Power Rangers that's rated R or rated 15 or 18 or something where it's like the same rating as like the Expandables where they're shooting shit up and there's blood and stuff? Like, nah, I'd rather have it like Harry Potter, Star Wars level of maturity while keeping so it stays more Power Rangers-ish.
That's true. I don't know. I just, as much as I like the show, I just hope it's not the show, if that makes sense. I don't want it down there.
Oh, I hope it's not the show where they're talking like they're all 3-year-olds. I'm hoping it's like that, like Harry Potter, as much as I don't like it, or Star Wars, or something like that, where it can be mature, but it's also family engaging. I don't know if that makes sense. Something that's kind of the Iron Man films.
Yes, like I want it to be a little like darker and more grown up. I want it to look more realistic, if that makes sense, instead of what they have for Power Rangers and Sentai right now. I want it to look more like, design it kind of like what we're trying to do with like my fanfic and your radio play. Obviously not that dark, not rated R, but you know what I mean? Make it a little more realistic. Make it look like, okay, this is what they would look like if they existed, you know? Not brightly colored spandex. Maybe, you know, there's been a lot of redesigns of the MMPR suits. Some fan-made. There's even been the awesome redesign from the guy who created the Geo Ranger suits in the first place. And it's like, go with something like that. Go with something a little more robust, something that you would find in the real world that these people would be wearing.
See, I'd like their costumes in the film. Like I said, I could see keeping it PG-13 because as much as I want an older Power Rangers, it's meant to be for the kids to buy toys and all the other crap. So I could see it being like that. I'd like it to be done like, you know, like the Amazing Spider-Man style costume or something like that, where it's not spandex, but at the same time it doesn't look far off from spandex. So, and like toned down colors. Like I don't want bright red. I want like Amazing Spider-Man red. It's not like the glaring like comic red.
Yeah.
But I don't know if anyone else is on the same boat with me on that.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. I don't know if I agree with the Spider-Man style look for it. Like, I don't know. I guess to me, if you're going to be running around trying to, you know, fight things in the real world, you better have some body armor of some sort.
Yeah, it depends what they're fighting and stuff, because hell, Spider-Man pulls it off. Well, hell, make it look like the Man of Steel costume.
There you go.
Helmet.
Yeah.
See, I liked your original idea. Make it kind of like Iron Man. I approve of that.
No, I said make the film in the tone of the Iron Man films, not make the suit look like Iron Man. But I don't know, what does Rick want? Besides,
I wouldn't. I wouldn't want it how the. I wouldn't like it like the shows, especially for a movie. I mean, it could still be, you know, children can go see it, but I wouldn't want it quite so kiddie.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Yeah.
Like I said, watching the show, it feels like they're talking like 3-year-olds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, whoa!
All right,
look,
guys, let's go do that
fire,
thing over there.
flower. Yeah. Oh my God! Look over there, a flower. This is like the greatest thing I've ever seen in the history of the world. It's like the most
Yeah.
amazing thing I've ever seen. I'm like watching. I'm like, really, the most amazing
Yeah.
thing you've seen when your mentor is a head stuck on a wall who gave you superpowers to use robots and team up with a robot to fight evil aliens, but a flower's the best thing you've seen.
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, okay,
Yeah.
here's what I'm thinking and what I want. And keep in mind, I am a fan of Power Rangers. Having said that,
Sentai elitist. Sorry, cough.
I like both, but I am a fan of Power Rangers. As anybody who's watched our stuff knows. But I want a design overhaul, number one. I want it to look more mature. I want it to look more utilitarian, something that they would actually use as opposed to flashy colors. I want it to be written in a more mature fashion. I don't necessarily need swearing or blood or anything, though blood is cool. But I don't necessarily need that. I just want it to be written in an intelligent way. And I want this movie to not be designed like it's supposed to hold a 3-year-old's attention. Because we're not fucking 3-year-olds. I want it to be designed for the fans of Power Rangers that have grown up with it, while, again, not making it adult. Fair enough. Like I said, we don't need the swearing stuff. I want it to be good, and I want it to be an evolution of Power Rangers to evolve with the fans.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned I wanted it in the tone of like I mentioned like the Star Wars films where
Yeah.
I can go watch a Star Wars film, my nephew could watch a Star Wars film, someone your age who's older than anyone could watch the Star Wars films, and it's like that you just combine them to, you know what I mean? I didn't want it too mature that you would alienate the kids, because at the same time I know my nephew is, and I assume Rick's kids are. I don't want to speak for Rick's kids, but I know there's a whole generation of kids out there who actually do like Mighty Morphin because of Netflix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think also, while Saban is targeting that audience, I don't think he understands the audience he's targeting, because as you will attest to, Mole, again, you have your nephew and your niece, and as Richter will attest to, he's got his kids. Saban's target audience is infinitely more intelligent than he's giving them credit for.
Yep.
And
And
it
I
just
also-
it bugs me that he tries to dumb it down to the level when he doesn't need to. He can write intelligent stuff. This generation of kids will get it.
Yeah.
He can? When did he start? Sorry, morphonomical. I'm wearing suspenders. Yeah, that's intelligent. That's
He
Citizen
started
Kane
with
right
Next Mutation, and we saw how that ended.
there. Yeah, I beat Power Rangers in the ratings.
Yeah, and then he promptly killed it.
Only because of the licensing law. Or the
Yeah.
licensing money.
Yeah, it was too
Fair
expensive.
enough.
Can I
But I meant when I asked Richter, I meant, what did you want for the suit, Rick? I know Richter likes to look at stuff like Power Rangers and think, oh, this would be a cool suit.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, because you are an artist. That is true.
And do not say Dynasty Warriors.
No.
That
I don't think
is
it.
massive for everything.
Yeah. I don't think it fit as much, but I'm always partial to like the Kamen Riders, how they have like armor pieces on.
Yes.
But I like having the stylistic difference between Power Rangers and Kamen Rider suits. But I wouldn't necessarily want that for them, but I definitely think that would look awesome. So like the spandex, but still there's like some armor over it, not covering everything, but enough to look cool.
See, I can agree with that kind of, because
Yeah.
I like Max Rider, and I'm sorry, as much as I preferred Power Rangers, and this is more heavily in the armor department, I really preferred the look of Beetlebugs. Their suits were like, yay, because they look like metal. They look like, okay, they're going to take a lot of damage.
Yeah, actually, you know what I could see working kind of cool, since we're talking about things that fit in a PG-13 movie.
The hard-working Mexican.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about. He fits in everything. But
When did we start playing Cards Against Humanity?
When you brought it up before.
yeah, when did we stop?
Continuity!
Anyway, I'm gonna say I think if they were, I think it would be cool if they could use a suit in the style of I'm thinking, and go with me on this for a minute.
You think?
The style, yeah, shut up. The style of the Willem Dafoe Green Goblin costume, but with a helmet that doesn't look like shit.
Get out. Get out and think about what you've done.
I'm just saying I didn't think that costume worked for the Green Goblin, but I thought as a costume it was kind of a cool costume.
Or I'm going to quote Richter and say this is why we can't have nice things. I'm kidding. The Green Goblin costume did work. Ironically, I think it worked really well for a Power Ranger villain who appeared in Wild Force.
Yeah, that's true.
If you remember which one I was on about, it looked like the Green Goblin on a motorbike in Wild Force.
Yeah, but that'd be Motodrone. Yeah, I forgot about him.
Yeah. But yeah, I could see that.
And actually, no, that was Ninja Storm, not Wild Force.
Was it? I remember one on Wild Force.
I don't know. I don't think because it was Motodrone hung out with Lothar and his dudes because he was in Ninja Storm because he was a former friend of Shane, I think, and he came out on the motorcycle to keep fighting and stuff. And he was one of the generals up there with Shimazu and all the other generals.
Like I said, it may
Wild
have
Force
been.
were all orcs. He was a dude he was actually a dude turned into a monster, and then the monster separated from the dude. He wasn't actually a.
Yeah, like I said, it could be Ninja Storm. The one I was thinking of, I seem to remember one that looked like Green Goblin on a motorbike for when against the Wild Force ones because they had their spikes, including coals that can totally kill Serpentera. And then I seem to remember Merrick fighting him and stuff. Coals
Okay,
bike, Serpentera.
Okay, maybe I had the season wrong in my head. I could be totally wrong.
Well, you know what I'm hoping for with the new season, with new MMPR film, Jim?
What's that?
I'm really hoping Saban doesn't go like Michael Bay and want the explosions and shit, like, I don't know, making the Power Axe into some sort of cannon. Because, come on, we've seen Once a Ranger, it wasn't a cannon.
Fair enough.
You mad, bro? I'll stop trolling Marcus.
Fair enough.
I could see him. I'll stop trolling Marcus.
All right.
With
So,
FYI, if anyone listening, speaking of Marcus, check out The Shadow's Paw, now available on YouTube. Lego movie.
Fair enough.
it's the Shadow's Maw.
I was close enough. it was one letter.
Stay tuned to the Shadow's Man. Wait a minute.
That's you, Jim. Anyway, Baldy-Wan Kenobi, you got anything left?
I do not.
All right. Ron Burgundy, you got anything over there?
Who?
The Anchorman.
Oh, Ron Burgundy. I couldn't hear what he said. Okay. Well, I have two things left.
All right, well, pick one.
Okay, well, the first thing we're going to talk about right here, I'm going to do this.
Choose the form of the Destroyer.
I choose Stay Puft.
Valid
Let's
choice.
So Malt's going to put up a Stay Puft toy, isn't he? But,
He's in a box over there.
anyway, I think the first thing I'll talk about here is we also got information on Kingdom Hearts 2.5 HD Remixed at the Comic-Con. There was some gameplay footage comparing the HD to the non-HD to show you how HD it is. We also had interesting... Go ahead, Mal.
FYI, I will also say the same thing like they mentioned when she watched it. Some of the footage when they've shown that before. It's really biased. Because they make the standard definition seem like it looks worse, if that makes sense. Like they're showing it on a HD TV when they capture it. And B, they're using Kingdom Hearts 2 when this is actually Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix from Japan. I mean, you get to see the new colors and stuff like that, but that was in the Japanese one. And you're making out it's brand new with this one? Stop tricking people. However, totally getting that game.
So anyway, in addition to this, they also released a whole line of figures that you could buy from the series. Various Soras, Rikus, Mickeys, Keyblades, all kinds of good stuff that you could buy that they're all going to be for sale soon.
Question.
Of course.
question: is the Keyblade going to be like the Power Ranger weapons, where an adult can actually hold it?
I meant it was more like the keyblades that the figures could hold, not one that a person could hold.
Oh, fuck you.
Sorry. Although I will say there are out there, because in the one video where they were talking to the I think it's Nomura about it, there is a giant keyblade between them that looks like a holder keyblade. So you can get them made, they're just not being officially released.
You have made a powerful enemy.
Strike me down and I should become more powerful than you can ever imagine.
Venom Bear, rape him.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I was just generally wondering, because when you said the keys, I kind of thought it'd be cool to have like the plastic key blades like kids have for the Power Ranger stuff, where adults can buy it if they want to as well. Got a morph and shit, as people know. But yeah, it'd be cool. That'd be cool, like the toy lightsabers, just be able to go to Toys R Us and pick up like fucking, what's his name? Riku's fucking like bat blade and the shit. That'd be cool.
That would be cool. But yeah, they got they got collectible Keyblade keys that are on keychains that you can collect. There's a silver one and a gold one. Different stuff like that. Interestingly, the gold one says Dark Side. Not really sure why. That's a thing.
DC crossover?
Not that Dark Side. Star Wars crossover.
Pink Floyd album crossover?
There you go. They also revealed, the most relevant thing, I suppose, is that there will be a limited edition of this. It's not actually a limited edition. Basically, if you pre-order the standard edition of the game, you're going to get automatically upgraded to the limited edition while supplies last. And for limited edition, you're gonna get the game, of course, and you're also going to get ready for this, a limited edition collector's pin that has Sora and Mickey on it. Thank you, whoever had that properly timed. Yeah.
You're welcome.
That's kind of bullshit. Although it is noted here that Squeenix has since removed the limited edition description from the game's listing on their online store.
Jim, I want you to tell the folks at home just how bullshit this is. What's the price difference between the keychain and not keychain?
You mean pin and
Or
not
not
pin?
keychain, the pin and not pin. Yeah.
I don't think there is one. Because I saw it, as I said, it's only showing the one version of the game at $39.99. And when I looked on GameStop, they only had one version. So
I thought Mole said there was a price difference between the two versions of the game.
is there a price difference?
I know. For the people listening, Marco Shadow is referring to the fact me and Richter were joking before with Jim about the fact with the pin it was going to cost more expensive than the Disney Infinity PS4 collector's box.
Ah.
But I don't think I wasn't sure. I haven't seen the prices.
I was going to say, if it's actually like a collector's edition price, that's kind of bullshit.
No, according to when I type it in on GameStop, it automatically brings you to the one page they have for it. PS3 version. I guess it's a limited release only on PS3. And it's $39.99.
Fair enough. Not so bullshit.
Not quite. Yes, your limited edition will get you an awesome-looking pin thing that you can collect and point out things. For those wondering, it's not just a random ass, we're giving you a pin. For those of you that don't know, if you go to any Disney theme parks, Disneyland, Disney World, Epcot, any of that crap, you can actually get yourself a lanyard and go to places and collect souvenir pins from all the different places you go in the theme parks and other Disney locations. So this pin is supposed to be part of that collection. It's not just a random ass pin.
You can also collect glass mugs. Give me a glass mug.
True.
I want a Kingdom Hearts glass mug.
Mm-hmm.
I also want a pin of Richter's head.
There you go.
Oh, since you're speaking about glass mugs, a little off topic here, but I think Mo will appreciate this. My father actually has 2 Star Wars glass mugs from, I think, it was Burger King or something, back in 1970s when the movie first came out.
Nice. I got a couple of them.
Yeah, they're
I
awesome.
got one or two for all 3 of the original films.
Nice.
They cost me a lot on eBay.
Yeah.
When I also bought, do you remember that little Mighty Morphin glass I showed you?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's awesome.
Indeed.
Everyone needs a Star Wars collectible glass, and everyone also needs Rick the Hammer pin.
Yes.
Yes.
Like I said,
Make it happen.
when we have our Axe Pound store, we need Rick the Hammer pin, Rick the Hammer mouse mat, Rick the Hammer T-shirt, a pillow in the shape of Rick the Hammer's head, like a collectible pillow. We need everything with Richter's head all over it, and then one T-shirt that says #Fenophile.
Yes.
If you have down the back, you can put "fuck you, Mole," and just Jim like that.
There.
It should say on the back, it should have a blank area that you can write in with a marker, blank you mole, so you can put
There
in
you
whatever
go.
you want.
There you go.
Nice.
Okay, well that's that. So who else still has something to say?
No, I still have something to say.
Yes, back to Merry Old England.
And I'm gonna leave my bigger news till last. This is just kind of funny. We had a Vampire Diaries season 6 trailer. It was a mock trailer. It showed the end of season 5, in which it ends, and then suddenly it cuts to the two actors in the role, like looking at each other and go, "Wait, did we just get written out the show?" And like Ian Somerhalder, who plays Damon, he's like, "No, we haven't just been written out the whole show. Trust me, I was killed in a show once, and that's not how they do it." Which is referencing him being killed in Lost.
Lost.
There's
Yeah.
also a scene. There's also a scene where one of the actresses, Nina Dobrev, throws out a script, and yeah, that was the script itself, and what was in that office was referencing Ian Somerhalder's campaign to try and be cast as 50 Shades of Grey.
Mm.
They also mentioned at one point that like couldn't Elena and Tyler get together this season? Says the one who plays Tyler, and both those actors and actresses are actually dating in real life. They said, but come on, why would they write out two characters? And then it suddenly cuts to Alaric now being back, and Enzo, the new character, the actors just sat on like desks, being like looking at each other like, do we want to tell them?
Yeah.
Which is kind of awesome. Like you got jokes like Ian Somerhalder being like, but come on, Paul Wesley directed an episode, and I gave him the performance of my life. And you just cuts to Paul Wesley on the director's chair, just goes. Which I was like, that's awesome. So you got all that stuff. You had stuff like at the end it goes, only one person can save us, the fans, and then they put up a few hashtags like #save Batman, because the two characters are Bonnie and Damon, and the show within the fandom there's like shitloads of shipping couples, so they're parodying that. There's also the one who plays Bonnie. Basically, they had a hashtag for the actress of what was it? Cat Graham is my queen and stuff like that. It was just a whole piss take trailer. But if you're a fan of the show and you know loads of the stuff from behind the scenes, it's so genius. Like they even had a scene where the two actresses decide to phone someone up and be like, "Look, let's phone them up about our spin-off," and it cuts to a scene with the character Klaus from what I think it was season 3, I believe that episode was from, in which Klaus is basically torturing everyone. Yeah, it would be season 3 because that's when Stefan went all emo and went to war with him, and that's where the phone call came from. Going off topic, but yeah, they phone him up and he just goes, "I'm gonna murder every last one of you," and they're like, "Whoa, we just asked you about the spin-off, dick," as they hang up, which is more funny because he's actually the lead character in the actual Vampire Diaries spin-off.
Nice.
Since they had the spin-off, which, yeah, like I said, it's kind of cool to see him just have fun with that. And I was like, that whole trailer is probably the most funniest video I've seen. I showed it to Marcus and Stacy, and I think Stacy will have got a lot of jokes. I don't think Marcus caught all of them because a lot of them were insider jokes, but I remember he said that was actually a pretty funny trailer.
Cool. And Marcus.
I always love when actors and actresses and the cast and crew do piss takes like that, where they're having fun with with the IP that they love so much.
Yep.
And they're doing it for the fans. I love that stuff.
Yep. And it also goes into, like fans said, they wouldn't have got the actress and the actor back there, and they wouldn't have them at the Comic-Con panel and stuff if they weren't coming back. Which means, yay, Damon's returning. And yay, Bonnie.
Yay.
Fair enough. That was the last thing you had on your list, yes, Mole?
No, he has one more. He's saving the big one for last.
Fair enough.
I thought,
By the way, I
thought Jim also had one.
I do have one more.
You
I
have
was
one?
going
Okay.
to see if Marcus
Excellent.
had one in the
Two
middle
more,
of us.
too.
Okay, Marcus hit it.
Yeah, I have 2 more, so that's good. But I do have to ask, Mole, because I can kind of see it behind you. Do you have your window open? Or your blinds or drapes open?
That would be a wall.
Because I can see the sunlight. No, I can see the sunlight. That's why I'm asking. It looks
Yeah,
like the
there,
sunlight.
that's where the window is, yeah. It's over
Yeah.
that direction, and yeah, they're not open.
Yeah.
It's just with the way my house faces, the sun rises on that side, so basically, light comes just glaring through the curtains because they're really thin.
Oh, fair enough.
Uh-huh.
Fair enough. Good morning, then, Mole.
So wait, you made your curtains out of the same material that Marcus Shadow's walls are made out of?
No, they're more material,
Okay.
and less
All right,
shit and
so-
sticks.
Ah,
That's why I went with an African joke instead of an Asian joke. Boom! Reverse racism.
Also, if I can suggest, since it's the big thing, can we go ahead and have why don't we your 2 things, Marcus, and I'll do my last thing, and then we can end with Mole's big thing. Just a
No, I have
suggestion.
I said it was the biggest thing on my list. To the most of the people here, they're probably not gonna give a shit.
Oh, okay.
we each have. Well, I have 2 things left, so it'll end perfectly. But and perfectly on me. But
If it ends on you, that's the opposite of perfect.
really, because I started it. But anyway, the thing that everybody wants to talk about: Avengers: Age of Ultron. And kind of what I pieced together from the little mini interviews that I saw. First of all, we've seen the Vision, although not quite. He's in the background because they released character posters for the different characters like Captain America, etc., etc. And in the character poster of Quicksilver, in the background, you see the Vision hovering there. You see him kind of from the back, off to the side a little bit. And he's got a yellow cape. So, yay! Looks like they might be doing Vision right.
Yay.
But there's like no detailing. You kind of can't see it. It's way off in the background.
Yes.
But speaking of Quicksilver, Aaron Taylor Johnson revealed in the interview, and I don't know if this is what happens at the end of Captain America: Winter Soldier because I haven't seen it, but I heard that at the end of that, like Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch get captured by Hydra or something. But he reveals that Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch in Avengers will have lost their parents. They seek revenge, and in their revenge, they offer themselves up to Hydra, where they're experimented on and become enhanced. And I'm like, wait, so is that how they're going to give them their powers because they can't call them mutants? I'm like, no. That's stupid.
That's stupid. The fact it's the Ultron movie thing and it's not Prim creating him isn't stupid. Just that bit.
Yeah, really.
To be honest, Tony Stark making him makes more sense than taking mutants and not calling them mutants and having to come up with a whole new backstory for them because you don't own the rights to mutants.
Yeah, but it doesn't make as much sense as then you have an Ant-Man film coming out, and you take away one of his biggest things and give it to Iron Man again. It's like that made me lose interest in the Marvel Cinematic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was kind of stupid.
Yeah.
But also the scene I believe we talked about in one of the previous Around the Pounds where they had that image on the set of Avengers with Don Cheadle. In the new teaser trailer thing they showed at Comic-Con, they actually showed that scene, and it's all of them sitting in Stark Tower, just kind of hanging out. And it's actually kind of funny. Thor puts the hammer down and invites everybody to try to pick the hammer up.
I can lift
And
with
nobody can pick it up until it gets to Captain America, and he grabs for it and is almost actually able to lift the hammer, to which Thor basically gives you the holy shit look that, no, you are not taking my hammer. Like, Thor actually, from what I understand, gets scared for a moment when Cap almost picks the hammer up. But then...
shouldn't the only one that could possibly lift it be either Iron Man or Hulk?
However, if he'd be worthy, Captain America's the only one that's worthy.
Yeah, but in the comics, Hulk's actually lifted it before now because of his pure strength, as strongest there is. He's actually lifted him through it before.
Yeah, Hulk would be able to pick it up, but Bruce Banner can't pick it up.
Yeah.
I'm assuming
if it
Hulk
turned.
isn't walking around Stark Tower.
I'd like to think he is.
That's his secret. He's always worthy.
Yeah, but because he can always transform, it'd be cool if he just went boom, transformed, lifted it up.
Yeah.
Although we saw in
but-
the first film they didn't want Hulk to lift it.
Right. But apparently, as the scene continues on, they're hanging out, and then all of a sudden this robot android thing kind of breaks into the room, and it's on the fritz, and then it's followed by a bunch of other robots. So it's kind of like the Birth of Ultron kind of thing, and then the Avengers kind of have to go take out the robots. And supposedly this trailer cuts later to Tony Stark walking through some building. It might be like a destroyed Stark Tower or something, but he's walking through a building, and he just sees the bodies of the Avengers littering the place. And so people don't know if that's something that's actually going to happen to Tony, actually happen in the movie, or if it's like some sort of dream or vision that he has. But they showed that scene. And then at the end of it, you actually get to see full-body Thanos.
Yep.
You see Thanos sitting in his chair like, yes.
Speaking of which, Sproul was at Comic-Con and he had an Infinity Gauntlet on.
Yeah, it
To be
was at
fair-
that panel. And it,
I was gonna say, to be
the
fair,
same guy, so yeah.
it's possible I don't know yet, but isn't it possible we've seen full body Thanos?
I don't know.
I
Because according
believe.
to...
I remember he
Go
was
ahead.
meant to be in Guardians of the Galaxy, so I wasn't sure how much they
Yes.
showed of him.
Yeah, he's in Guardians of the Galaxy. You'll probably see him in there, but this is like physically the first time anybody in the public has seen full-body Thanos because Guardians of the Galaxy is not out yet.
I wasn't sure as it came out here Saturday, I think, or next Saturday. So I thought you guys
Yeah, I
might have
think
had
it's
it a
next
week
week.
earlier, like you normally do.
No.
Yeah, because you guys normally get films like a month before us.
Right.
Yeah, I
But-
think they purposely held it back so that it wouldn't come out until after Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's kind of cool.
Indeed.
Yeah, so that's the first full-body Thanos shot, and people are saying, "Oh, Thanos, oh, drool." But
Don't
that
get
pretty-
used to it. You won't see him again until Avengers 3.
Yeah, that pretty much Thanos is going to be in Avengers 3, and I believe pending the success or failure of Guardians of the Galaxy, they are planning to bring the Guardians into Avengers.
Yep.
I hope Guardians of the Galaxy is pretty cool, but
Me too.
But based on Marcus's news, what does Richter think? I wasn't sure if we lost him. He sounded quiet.
I don't know. I'm kind of worried about Age of Ultron, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
More
Yeah,
because
there's
just,
no
I was
direct
super
ones,
looking forward to Thanos, and then it's like, oh, the second one, and then people are like, oh, is that Thanos? And he's like, no, I'd never intended to, and I'm like, oh, suck a bag of dicks, cool, okay.
Yeah.
And they put him at the end.
But Age of Ultron, doesn't it have Hulkbuster Iron Man? So it's like a giant mech, Rick. Giant mech.
I don't really
Yeah,
like
they
Tony
will have the
Stark.
requisite Hulkbuster V.
I was kidding. I was just using the cliche of just because it has a giant mech, Rick will buy it.
Yeah, yes, they will have the requisite Hulkbuster v Hulk fight. Robert Downey Jr. has gone on record that saying that they filmed that for so long it felt like they filmed it for 5 years. That's how intense that scene was, and he was like, "Yeah, we had to make sure we got it right." And Mark Ruffalo pretty much said the same thing. He was like, "Yeah, I did months upon months of like the motion capture for that stuff. He's like, it was pretty crazy." And he's like, "Yeah, it's in there. It's
I wish it
intense.
wasn't.
It's brutal, and we had to make sure we got it right."
Mm-hmm.
And someone asked Ruffalo.
Oh, all I said was, like I said, I wish that wasn't in there. I just said I wish that wasn't in there.
Oh, really? Why?
Only
is that?
because he hasn't built the Iron Man army yet properly. And even if he had, because most of them got destroyed in Iron Man 3, in Avengers, the whole film, Iron Man is talking about how he believes the guy can control it. He teams with him and learns he controls it. And Hulk saves his life multiple times. It makes no sense for him to have built something to now kill the guy that saved his life. That's like...
Yeah.
That's a big gap in logic. I think needs explaining, like another Hulk film or something.
Well, it'll be explained in the movie why Iron Man has to stop Hulk. Someone asked Ruffalo about that. Can you tell us a little bit about why they come to blows? And all Ruffalo could say is, yeah, Hulk gets really, 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 really angry.
Did he also find out Iron Man made Ultron?
I don't know. But basically, the way he described it, he said, think about it this way. The reason Tony has to stop him is because the Hulk hulks out. That's how angry he gets, apparently. And I'm like,
You stop Hulkamania.
but yeah, that's a direct quote from Ruffalo.
Okay, then.
So, moving on.
Also, can I just, if we're going to talk about Marvel Cinematic Universe, not related to Comic-Con, but just to mention, Joaquin Phoenix is in talks to play Doctor Strange.
Yes, he is.
Thought I'd mention that.
Over to our Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Well, for my final piece of news this evening, because it's me, it's obligatory that I mention it, there was a new trailer for Season 4 of Person of Interest.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty awesome. They hinted that they explained there was also an interview involved with the creators, and basically the idea there is that the whole thing's going to be about a war. It's the war of the old machine versus this new machine that's called Samaritan that is now online and in control of the bad guys. It's going to be this huge fight between these two supercomputers, and about how can this team that always operated in the secret shadows continue doing so when their enemy now has what they had and can see and hear and know everything. How do they still operate and get the numbers to save people and do what they have to do? And it looks like it's going to be a pretty interesting season as to how they're going to pull this off and how they're not only going to overcome the machine that's controlled by the bad guys, Decima Technologies, and the government therein. It's interesting.
Cool.
So, also, it was hinted that one of the machines may or may not get a voice like HAL 9000.
Fair enough.
And there you go.
Over to the mole.
My last bit of news, which I thought this was awesome, a Friday Screen Gems panel at San Diego Comic-Con. Director Sam Raimi, I don't know why they did this, they put Spider-Man in brackets, that's stupid with this announcement, announced that he is working on an Evil Dead TV series, and hence you now see why it's stupid, with his brother and frequent collaborator Ted Raimi, and the star Bruce Campbell. Although we don't know the capacity of Campbell's role in the potential series, he's definitely going to have one. And yeah, like I said, Sam Raimi made Evil Dead, so why not put Evil Dead movies in brackets, not Spider-Man?
Yeah.
It's Comic-Con. They had to reference a comic character?
Except for this wasn't on Comic-Con's page.
No.
And everyone keeps doing that. Where it was like, I understood it kind of during his last horror film where they had one, and it was like from the director of Spider-Man. Like, you should have put Evil Dead there. I was like, fair enough, Spider-Man's the cash cow at the moment. The last film franchise that he's involved in that made money was Evil Dead, the remake. But still, Evil Dead, the TV show. I think this could be cool. If they do it right, it could be part Buffy, part Walking Dead, if that makes sense. And I say part Buffy just if they went with the humor parts from from like number 2 had some humor and number 3 did and stuff like that, mixed with the horror of the Walking Dead with the zombies. I think that'd be great.
I agree. All right. Well, let's close this out with my final bit of news. And it comes from the great people at Shout Factory. They have announced that they will be releasing, they haven't put a date out there yet, we don't know when it's coming out, but they will be releasing the full series subtitled of Kyoto Sentai Zyuranger.
We confirmed it was subtitled?
Yes. Fuck you. And they've gone on record as saying that this was Saban Entertainment's idea. They came to Shout Factory and said, hey, why don't you put out Zyuranger subtitled? And they said, hey, that's a great idea. Let's do that. So I'm hoping and wondering if maybe this is going to lead to more Sentai getting official American subs.
I think if it does, it will only be Season 2 and Season 3 of MMPR, because I'm just going to say, and do what Jim does and steal other people's ideas. I'm just going to say, I had a thought that maybe they're doing this because they want to get people back into MMPR. And as you know, if you go online and look at the reviews for the Collector's Head, there wasn't many extra features in there, so they wouldn't have anything new to sell Mighty Morphin fans. So they probably went that approach. What do you think, Jim, with my brand new idea that I came up with myself?
It's a very intelligent idea. I'm glad you came up with it. And yeah, that's a very valid point, is that as someone who has the big old MMPR head, it's over there.
I agree, you do have a big head.
Yeah. But as someone who has that, yeah, it had 6 discs of bonus features, but not a lot. It was a lot because it had to cover 20 years. Not, a percentage of it was MMPR related, and therefore, well, they might not necessarily have had anything new MMPR related to sell. Yeah, getting the Zyuranger out there will help get the source material out there, so people will have an idea of, oh, this is what this was, so they'll know where MMPR is coming from, and therefore they can go into the movie with a little more knowledge of the source. I think it's a good idea to help get people in the right mindset for the upcoming movie.
I can. Well, I will say, Rick, if you can hear us, I mentioned to Jim the other day when he said, yeah, because Jim said the idea about that's why. I will say, I thought that was a bad idea. I thought if Warner Brothers can remaster the 1960s Batman for Blu-ray, why not remaster MMPR for Blu-ray for Series 1, 2, and 3, and so you can get all MMPR on Blu-ray, then include a load of new extras, and by new extras, I mean like most Blu-rays did. Like, one of the best parts about the Ghostbusters one was this, and same thing with Back to the Future. Why not talk to Saban? Why not talk to JDF and Austin St. John and Walter Jones and all those about their experience on the show and what the fandom means to them, reaching out to fans, and just do a whole section? Hell, because it's mainly for older kids, you could probably even include a Yellow Ranger tribute if you wanted to. I'd probably recommend, probably they wouldn't want to do that, so that one would be bad. But I just thought the idea of like a round table with the original Rangers, or just filmed separately, all talk about what they think, why they think the series was successful, their role and their experiences, would probably be a much better collection to hype up the film with MMPR than Zyuranger.
I can agree with that, but can we get that special feature? But have the round. Yeah, fine. I'm gonna get Rick going in a minute, but I just want to throw out here. I think that's a good idea. Do that round table, but the round table is Adam West and his celebrity friends talking about Power Rangers.
Do they even watch it?
Do they need to?
No, they're adults. No. I was kidding because I meant they were adults at the time MMPR came out.
Yeah. Just Hammy, what do you think?
Mm-hmm.
About the Zyuranger coming out?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that's awesome. Oh, yeah. I could see them doing it, but that would cost Saban money. And as we've seen, he seems pretty cheap, so I can see why he'd be like, well, we could remaster it, but
Yeah, I also said if they're going to do that as well, they could have also gone the other route. I don't know. It doesn't have to be the MMPR people. They could have gotten the Megaforce cast, since they're under contract, to redub the episodes instead of having the subtitles. As long as it's the same script, if that makes sense, that could be cool.
That could be interesting.
Mm-hmm. I also hope, because they haven't said one way or the other, I hope that this Zyuranger is an HD digital remaster. I'd love to see it in HD, because, I mean,
must be.
Yeah, as Victor knows, that
not.
that show's really old, so if they don't remaster it, it's going to look really, really old.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say to you, it won't be a HD remaster if it's coming out on DVD.
Let us not forget that it's old, but only a year older than Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Fair enough. Yeah, I hope they do a Blu-ray of it, but yeah.
Blu-ray.
Got a fair point there, Walt.
Which would be awesome.
Yeah, the other question, of course, becomes, with the way Shout Factory has different methods of releasing things, will they release the whole series as a set, or will it be like Volume 1, 2, 3?
It's going to be the whole series as a set, I think.
All right. That's good, then.
It better be the whole series as a set. I'm not going to buy fucking volumes.
Fair enough.
That's amazing. No, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have judged, but that's amazing.
Why is that amazing, Mo?
All the years I've known Marcus and stuff, and you guys, he's always said, I want a Sentai like released in the West. If it was released here, I'd totally buy it. And then when they finally announced, it's like, well, if it's not released to how I would box it, I'm not going to buy it. It's like, but that's what you've wished for. it's like I've wished for like new Power Ranger Mighty Morphin stuff with comics, and I went out and bought it because fuck it, why not? It's just like, and the volumes would totally work. It's like I will go out and buy all of Transformers Prime when we have every single DVD out, even if because it's going to be the volumes, but I'll go out and buy every volume at once and then sit down and watch them.
Right.
Yeah, that's an option. We'll have to see. It will make sense to do it as a whole series, just because it's not overly large. So
they should also do the other two.
Kaku Ranger and Die Ranger.
Yeah,
that would make sense. Working that, it'd be interesting to see the other source. But like I said, I think if this is a big success and Shout Factory makes money, there's no reason, given that Saban has the license rights to all the seasons in the Western world, for them to say to Saban, hey, we'd like to release more, and Saban to let them release more seasons. You know, even if they just go from Shield Ranger forward, that would still be pretty cool. They could always go back and release the earlier ones later if they wanted to.
Yeah, the only reason I thought it'd be cool to do the whatever the fuck they're called, the other two ones at the Sentai is because one of them, and I believe it's Die Ranger, which is the one the White Ranger came from, they hadn't used the other suits, yet they're going to appear in Megaforce. Wouldn't that be a great way to also help Megaforce out?
True.
But yeah, I will say, I think that could be cool.
Yeah,
and Richter's on BRB just in case we're closing this down.
Yeah, Richter ran off for a sec. Which I think it's a good thing. I hope they do release more Sentai seasons because I would like to watch Sentai, but I'm not a fan of going through all that downloading. So I think it'd be interesting to watch the show.
Why? Just watch Power Rangers. It's better.
That's subjective. It's personal preference.
Well, I would hope he'd say Power Rangers are better if he's on the Power Force, not the Sentai Force.
But yes, I think that about does it for us for our San Diego Comic-Con extravaganza. This has been a long video.
Wow, Dick, you're just going to close it without Richter Hammer here, aren't you?
I said Comic-Con, and that's why I said I realised we were closing down after Marcus's news. He had said that before. And I said Richter was on BRB, so just so the fans know, he only stepped away for like a second, which means he might just miss the outro, which I will say thank you for having us, Marcus.
Indeed. Thank you for joining me for this rather extensive look at San Diego Comic-Con. And despite how extensive it was, there's a whole butt-ton more of stuff out there. Just go to like IGN and go through their like 100-page script of Comic-Con and for anything that we missed.
And it's unlikely unless your head's been buried under a rock for the last day or two, but make sure you check out the Wonder Woman costume.
Yes.
And as we always do with the E3 stuff, Marvel versus, I'm going to say DC won Comic-Con.
I can get over that.
Yeah.
Just because I'm sorry, Multiverse, Constantine, fucking Man of Steel versus Dark Knight and stuff like that. That's going to be amazing.
Indeed.
And Lego Batman 3.
And Lego Batman 3.
And DC also had a lot of their TV shows out there too. Gotham, more Arrow news, Flash news. So they
more mentioned Constantine.
Yeah.
Well, aside from Constantine, the other TV shows.
They don't
all
matter.
the TV shows out there.
Arrow and Flash, they don't matter.
Not
Constantine's
really.
where it's at.
Yeah. And
I will say, I will say, speaking of Constantine, before we go, I will say, I love what they did with Constantine, which I hope they go into in the TV show because of the bullshit laws.
Okay.
Because apparently on American TV, you can show someone shoot someone to bits, and that's acceptable, but you can't show someone just go on a cigarette. Otherwise, it's considered wrong. It's like, but the violence is more wrong. What the fuck's wrong with your stupid morals? Guns are worse than that. But it's
Again, Mo,
Like-
I direct you.
Like
I
a
direct.
case of, as I was saying, it's a case during that though, because they couldn't do that. They do have they did show scenes of the trailer and in the pilot where when it cuts back to him, you see him just go, into an ashtray with it because he's not smoking it, he's just putting it out. And I'm like, okay, yes, you kept it smoking because I'm not saying smoking is cool or anyone condones smoking before any little children think that. It's just Constantine's smoking is part of a massive thing of his character because part of the thing he goes through is lung cancer at one point because of it.
Mm,
That's like a massive story arc. That's like Tony Stark's drinking. I don't
Yeah.
approve of being an alcoholic, but you kind of need it for character. It's part of who he is.
tell that to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
You've seen him drink.
Yes, but not be an alcoholic.
No, you haven't, which that's one of the things they were missing, because I'm sorry, Demon in a Bottle, his one good story. I said it.
Yes. Instead, we did him depressed over a thing that happened in New York that he showed no sign of being depressed over at the end of Avengers.
Richter's back for the outro. Woo!
Yes.
Take
Richter,
us
is there
away,
anything-
Marcus.
Yes.
Richter, is there anything else you'd like to say to our listeners?
As we once again rise from the ashes.
No, not really. I covered all the stuff I read
You're not going
about.
to copy me and steal my bit, are you, Jim?
Yeah, very
Bye,
funny.
everybody. Oh, wait, not that one.
All right.
I-
Well, if no one
I
else-
was Mole. You dig? There you go. I can now.
There you go. Perfect. Nice. I like that. Keep that.
No, that's the stupid. That was just a parody. Your hand gesture. I'm a mole.
That's great.
Dig.
That's perfect.
Let's
But just, Mo, if you're wondering about our fucked up morals over here, I direct you to Let's Fighting Love.
I am aware about Let's Fight in Love and what it was representing, but that was more of the nudity versus guns and stuff, which I kind of understand because some people are a little bit prudish with that. But I'm like, how is drinking or smoking considered worse to show on a TV show than someone being shot to bits or someone being fucking like? There's actually been rape scenes in TV shows before now, yet you can't show Constantine go on a cigarette because it's important to his character for him to get the lung cancer storyline, which leads to a massive, massive fucking arc within the character. This is why we can't have nice things.
This is why we
Medium
can't have nice
roll.
things.
But yes, on that depressing note, I'd like to thank everybody for joining me on this grand San Diego Comic-Con special. As I said earlier, this has been quite a long stream here. So thank you, Richter Hammer, for taking time out of your busy diaper-changing schedule.
You're welcome.
I'm going to say
Thank you.
he's back for next week.
Yay!
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you to Chris the Mole for not going to sleep for 2 days to do this.
Or, Richter,
Yo.
can you come on video quickly and just have a WrestleMania sign? There we go. Now the right way around.
Fine.
It's off screen, they're pointing at the WrestleMania sign. But yeah, thank you for having me on my own show. It's funny when he says thank you for having me. Thanks for appearing here. It's our show too. You just hosted this one.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was saying thank you for showing up. And thank you for staying up for 2 days to do it.
I'm not Jim. These things.
Nah.
Speaking of Jim, thank you for Jim for not coming home and promptly going to sleep.
You're welcome.
And thank you to Richter for proving bald is sexy.
Damn right. Even in 8 bits.
He just giggles. He doesn't even say you're welcome. He just like, yeah, I knew it.
Well, I've been your
That's
host,
what Rick
Marcus
do.
Shadow. Yeah, that is what Rick do.
That is what we're
But I've been
doing.
your host, Marcus Shadow. Join us next week for another WXR and another Around the Pound. And join two lovely gentlemen on the end, Mole and Richter, on Wednesday for XGR. Have a good night, everyone.
In the morning.